starting here. These are... I can't tell what's happening in there. Okay. I cannot tell what is happening in there. Okay, it appears that we are live. Okay, that's looking good. Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're all doing well today. This is just a little... I've changed my setup a little bit here. Hey, Captain Derpy, great to see you. So I've changed my setup a little bit. Here I'm using a different machine for streaming, so I have to optimize a few things here. So today we are going to be sculpting some characters, particularly for Galaxy Drifter, but also I need to create a monster for a horror game that I'm also doing on the side. I mean, I say on the side, I'm always working on multiple titles. So good to see you guys. Hey, Michael Newsom, good to see you. So yeah, we'll just hang out and we'll chat a little bit while I'm doing the sculpt. So I'm going to adjust the brightness on the webcam here. So let me go ahead and do that now. It's a little too bright, isn't it? Guys, let me know if the music volume is too loud. Just let me know. Hey, Rashad Z, good to see you. Yeah. I've used this setup a couple times in sort of doing the sculpt. It's just a cool way to interact with you guys because I'm not directly letting you show my workspace, and it's like we're hanging out while I'm at work, which is basically what's happening. I've basically invited, like, you know, people to come hang out at my workplace, and my boss is like, hey, who are all these people here? Why do you have a bunch of people at your desk? Yeah, that's what it is. So, thanks to everyone who's contributed to Galaxy Drifter. There's a couple character graphics that I already have, but I need a sculpt. A couple of them, so the Ghoul Taxians, and I'm going to work pretty quickly here, so I don't want to set like an unrealistic precedent for people that watch my work, but sometimes I just have to work very fast. Whereas in general, it's, you know, especially if you're working in a team, you need to be more deliberate, work a little more carefully. But I don't have time for that, baby. I gotta roll. And that means I have a lot of games to develop, so I tend to move pretty quickly here. And you just get used to it. So right now I'm modeling, well, I'm not modeling, I'm sculpting the Ghoul Taxians. Okay, so the Ghoul Taxians are a race of sort of blob-like creatures, and they're able to change the shape of their internal organs. In the lore, as you see in some of the lines of dialogue, they say like they're technically compatible with the reproductive organs of every single life form, basically, for the most part, if they're the similar size, because they can adjust their internal organs, because they're like sort of blob slime. So, here we go. So I just need to determine, these are going to be my needs here. I'm using sculptures, which it's old, it's no longer, you know, supported, but I really like it. It's simple, it doesn't get in my way, and it's free, so I can recommend it to people as well. It does what I need it to. If I needed more, I would use Bush. Can you bring your mic volume up? Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for letting me know. Let me go ahead and do that. I'll do that now. Thanks guys. This is... I normally use my development machine to stream when I'm at this workstation, but I thought I'd try something. I thought I'd use a dedicated machine, different machine to stream. Can Can you hear me any better, or do you need it to be any louder? How's that? Is that okay now? Oh! Guys. I'm such an idiot. I didn't put my lapel mic on. Sorry about that, guys. Just curious if the pirates were already made or not yet. I'll definitely be using at least one of your lines, Captain Derby. I'll definitely be using at least one for the pirates. I really like that delivery. So I'm still sorting through the submissions, but a number of the lines have already been really excited about. Hey, Helenon, good to see you. Oh, hey, Sean Starr. So I'm so excited about Galaxy Drifter. I really want this sort of, I want it to feel like a game that you would have found in the 90s, where, you know, you sort of like, you know, maybe you bought a magazine and it included a disc, you know, and the disc was like, hey, this is the new hot space game, you know. And then it would have been something like Galaxy Drifter. That's sort of what I'm aiming for. And you know, you sort of take the floppy disk and you pop that into your machine, and it's just, you know, it's dark outside, and you're sort of sitting alone in your living room with your computer, and the whole room is just illuminated by the light of the PC, and you're sitting there playing Galaxy Drifter, and that's kind of the feeling that I wanted for Galaxy Drifter. So I've made a lot of creative decisions that just lean heavily into that. So. Let's see here. All right. I need to save the file. You meant the models, not the voices. Oh no, I haven't done the models. It's depending on where, how long development takes. But I may not have time to model the pirates, or I'll just leave them in their ships. It's because I have a number of titles that I really need to finish and launch. If the Breath of Thunder campaign had gone, if that had succeeded in funding, then I wouldn't have to be working so furiously on these titles right now. But I have basically no time. Let me see here. So I'm having to work pretty furiously to get this stuff out, which is no big deal. I mean, I say that's no big deal, but it's not a good way to live. I was really considering using a very old program like Lightwave, because when I was a kid, I bought a 3D modeling magazine that included Lightwave, which is a 3D modeling program. And that was my first experience with 3D modeling, and the stuff you get is so beautifully 2000s. Like, you absolutely can tell, you know, this program comes from the 2000s. So I do have future games where I do want to use Lightwave, so I can have a more genuinely early 2000s vibe to the visuals. So at some point in the future, I will be using old software to do visuals as well. So I mainly get the, you want the shape first, and then you give your shape a little bit of form and muscularity. Here's the thing though, I tend to go pretty muscular and vascular with my 3D sculpts, but because Goltaxians are sort of a slime, a blob people, I have to be careful not to be too vascular. Eleanor, you so remember buying magazines just for the CD with games. Yeah, Eleanor knows what I'm talking about. That was cool, because, like, okay, magazines are cool anyway, right? You get to see the games that are coming up, you get to see reviews for games, and then the fact that they came with games as well, that's money well spent, And then you can share the games with your friends, you can swap CDs, so That's pretty rad. So guys, okay, so I just posted a video on YouTube, and I'll share a little bit of the news with you now. So this is a concept that I've been mulling over for a while, and I was just trying to determine whether or not the idea is feasible, whether it would work. But we did our test run for the community mashup last week, and I determined that this concept would work. And so I want to share this idea with you guys because I want to start this initiative soon. Last week we did our test run for the community mashup, and it went really well. It was so much fun that I'm going to do. Oh no! This boy has big arms. We better dial that back a little bit. What I'm going to do is a long-term community mashup game that is a platform fighter. So it will be the same genre as Smash Bros. You have characters that are fighting, and the combat is focused heavily on positioning. And basically, this community mashup will be, I create the game engine, the game framework for this platform fighter, and we go on live stream every couple weeks, and you guys in the chat just throw out your ideas for a new character, and I will sculpt the character on the live stream. I'll make the character there, I'll do all the graphics, and you guys just throw out your ideas for a move set, and we'll spitball it, and it'll be fun. It'll feel like we're having coffee at a diner at 2 a.m., just throwing out ideas for video games. And that will be one of our community mashup projects. But that's going to be long-term. We could maintain that for years and years. We could make it last as long as we want, really, because every couple weeks we can just add a new character to it. So I've just, I've done a small, unofficial announcement for it on YouTube just now. I just posted the video, but I hope you guys are looking forward to that. So what do you guys think of that idea of a platform fighter community mashup game where you guys get to throw out your ideas, and it can be a shitpost. If you guys want a shitpost character, absolutely go for it. That's what it's all about. Sean Starr, thanks for always sharing your development of video game designs on what upcoming games you're working on for other video game hardware on Atari VCS. I have an SDK set up for the 2600 and 7800, so I want to make original Atari games as well. And I just think it would be so much fun. But I would like them to tie in with my current games, so that it's sort of like, what if this game concept was executed, on original hardware? I just think that would be so much fun. I'm curious and want to what game engines do you use to also work on your indie games? So I use, to make games for the older consoles, I use different software development kits, or we call them SDK for short. I use different SDKs for every platform. So say, for example, for the Atari Jaguar, there's something called Raptor Studio. Raptor Engine with Jag Studio. And for the Sega Saturn, there's something called Joe Engine that Johannes Fetz built. All the cool stuff comes from France. Everyone in France, I think the majority of people in France have made a game engine. I'm sure I'm pretty confident that's how it is. The majority of people in France have made at least one game engine. So I forget the guy's name. I'm making games for the Lynx as well, so Galaxy Drifter will come to the Lynx. Maybe I can make an NES version as well. Let me just check so I can show you guys this. And I'll show you which. So this is a game engine created by... I'm contributing to Patreon, but I don't know his real name. His username just says 8-bit dude. I don't know his real name, which is a little upsetting because he deserves a whole heap of credit. But I'll show you something here called... Oh, the screen's too bright, isn't it? It is. The screen is too bright. Okay. Look up 8-bit Unity. It has nothing to do with Unity, the big company, but it's called 8-bit Unity. And it allows you to make links, NES and Commodore 64 games. So that is what I'm using for some of my target platforms is 8-bit Unity. I'm already feeling pretty good about this boy. Look at him. Oh wow, I like this. he's got a. Oh, I really like his vibe. Okay, what do you guys think so far? This is the Ghoul Taxi. So now what I'm going to do is just give him a little musculature. And the musculature is the form of the figure. So he has shape now, and we're just going to give him form. So I kind of like this idea here of a little bit of vascularity. Otherwise, he's just a formless blob, and that's not really interesting to look at. So let's go ahead and give him a little bit of muscularity here. Okay. So when you're modeling creatures, especially creatures that don't exist, you just have to imagine. You're just going to have to use your imagination. Okay, so I accidentally did 2 references in a row. There's the South Park Imagination Land, which is some of my favorite episodes of anything ever created. And there's, in the Super Sentai in Japan, there's Resha Sentai Tokuja, which is one of my favorite Super Sentai series. That is such a vibe. It's such a vibe, that season. Yeah. Can't stay watching NASCAR race and WrestleMania. Awesome, that sounds like a good day. Don't forget the bowl of nachos and the chili dogs. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. Robocoop, that sounds like a cool idea. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're just going to have a lot of fun. So I got to give this guy some boobs, some man boobs. Or woman boobs, It doesn't matter. I just don't want to look like a pervert on live stream talking about making woman boobs. So I'm just going to call them man boobs. They're not blobby enough yet. You got to make these man boobs more blobby and saggy. Okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. What if you had like a little bit of a 6-pack, right? Yeah, let's give him a little bit. Let's give him like a 4-pack. Then you have this sort of a center tummy. That's what, that's anatomy. It's the center tummy. That's real. That's real anatomy. Okay. What's the V, right? The V is kind of important. So let's go ahead and give him some glutes now. This guy has no butt. This is a Smash character. This is a Smash Bros character because he has no butt. Let's go ahead and give him a little bit of a butt. If you hold the shift button, it goes inward instead of that. Captain Derpy, I would so love to be part of the Smash Bros. Live project. I do have to charge at my phone, but I'll talk to you later in the Discord. Hey, great! Thanks, Captain Derpy. We'll catch you in the Discord. We'll see you there. Doomarine, hey, good to see you. Sounds fun, interesting, and once you get the base game in place, making new characters shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, absolutely, Doomarine. I would have to build a system for character creation that is fast. And that's really that's the most important part for that project. And I think it's going to be beautiful chaos. And that's really what I want to see in the world, is beautiful chaos. All right, so what I want to do is bring the legs in a little bit now, because I want the legs to flare out towards the bottom. And that'll give us just a fun shape to look at. So I don't like this shape that's going on here. So I'm gonna bring that in. Are there any in the chat? Do you guys have any favorite platform fighters? Do you like what's the DC one? What's the DC called again? DC All Stars Brawl. I don't know what that one's called off the top of my head because I saw it a little bit. I really wanted it to be good, but it kind of looked like it fell off. I think the monetization aspect of it, turned people off to a fair bit. Did anyone in the chat even play the DC Smash Bros? The Warner Smash Bros is what it's called. That's looking fine. That's just fine. Now we want to relax this a little bit, so that doesn't look organic enough at the moment. It's not organic and relaxed. Let's go ahead and grab that.
My brush has disappeared. I no longer... Oh, it went through. Woohoo, equal hubs and duplicate. Do you need help with artworks? No, at the moment I'm not looking for team members for development or anything like that. And the reason being is that I have collaborated with people in the past. I've worked with people that I have paid, and every single project ended up in development hell, despite, managing things, as fairly and as patiently as possible. People would... Here's my experience with that, in every single experience. People start gung-ho, and within the first 2 weeks, they're hyper-productive. Like, oh, check out all the stuff I can do. And then after the 2-week mark, people really fall off, because unless you can pay that person's wage, their weekly wage, and you can pay all of their bills, they're not going to stay motivated to keep working on your project. And your project will end up in development hell, and it will never get finished. That is the experience that I've had for like 15 years or so. So I no longer work with other sort of team members because I can't actually pay, a full-time living wage. And a project is not going to happen unless you can do that. Because people need to live their lives, they need to pay their bills. So that's just how it is, So I work alone, and that makes certain that my projects get finished. Because I know that I will do the work to get the work, and I know that I will do it in a timely manner. So there we go. Let's see, smooth. Let's go ahead and smoothen out this tummy area. Oh wow, what a fun boy! Oh, what a fun boy! Guys, look at him. Oh, I'm gonna give him some eyeballs. I promised myself I wouldn't give him cute googly eyeballs. I promised myself I wouldn't, but I think I'm going. It's looking hilarious. I like this Cooper. Okay, so we're gonna give him a little mouth, right? We're gonna give him a little mouth, and then we're gonna give him eye holes and stick eyeballs. I'm so happy with the proportions overall. The head, the arms. I'm gonna give a little bit of muscular detail to the arms, and then I really like how his neck area turned out. This is just a fun little friend, isn't it? This is a fun friend. Okay, so let's give him a little bit of shape down here. But not too much, right? You can take things too far very quickly. If he has a little bit of a frowny face, it kind of makes him like, it's subtly like, kind of like, how dogs have sad eyes. It gives that sort of effect where you naturally just like feel an emotional connection to some degree if there's a little bit of a frowny face. It's, I'm not trying to, emotionally manipulate people. It's just a little bit of sort of visual design. Just a little bit of visual design. But not too much, just a little bit. Yeah, so I'm targeting the Atari VCS, Switch, and Steam, and also as many legacy platforms as I can. So over time, this will come to as many legacy platforms as I can. So even things like, the Dreamcast, the Saturn, the Jaguar. And part of that has to do with, I need a reason to work on those platforms. Like, I can't just spend time working on them unless I have a good reason. And this is kind of me making an excuse to make games for those platforms that I really want to make games for. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and give them some idols. Let's see, how pragmatic do we want this guy to be? On a scale of 1 through 10, guys, how pragmatic? Put in the chat, scale of 1 through 10. And let's see here. What a fun thing. It went on play mode. That's kind of annoying if you push it twice. It sort of goes to a weird mode. That's really uncomfortable. This guy just accidentally became one of my favorite designs. Like, I was not for him to look like this, but I really like him. I really like this guy. Oh man, I really like him. There we go, it's giving him a little bit of form on his arms now. Oh man, what just an adorable creature. That's a ghoul friend if I've ever seen that. Alright, I think we got it. Let's give him just a little bit of form there. Just helps it look like he's got muscle attachments in there, you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean, muscle attachments. Yeah, that's looking real good. Just a little bit more back here. Okay, great. Now let's make some eyeballs. A fence sitter 5 for me. Never designed a slime guy before. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and just give it a try now. I have never designed space aliens in 3D and sculpting, so this is quite fun. This is really fun for me. So I don't want his eyes to be too big, right? So we're just going to give him some sockets here. Now you have 2 ways to do this, right? Oh my god! He turned out adorable. What have I done? What have I done? Okay, those are eyeballs. Okay. Alright. Hemisphere. That object. Let's go ahead. So we want to shrink it down, right? Scale. Is this how we do it? Can we do it like that? Yeah. Oh man. They gotta stick out a little bit. Ah, guys. Okay, what do you think of that? What? I got really excited over something so simple, but this design. I really like this design. This guy makes me smile. Oh, I didn't mean to get so excited, but this guy makes me smile. It's really cute. Oh, we gotta give no, I think I'm gonna leave the legs the way they are. I like it. It's simply cute, I like it. Thanks. I'm glad you like that. That's, oh man, I am so happy with that. I gotta look at my documents here. Let me just see who else I need to create here. Besides the Taxians, I already have the Coax. Yeah, so this is one of the races for Galaxy Drifter. And of course, if you guys want to be in Galaxy Drifter, you can contribute one line of dialogue. So check the social media posts and whatnot. Send me a DM on Discord. I'll put the... I'll put it in the comment section. If you check that document, you can see which lines are available. And you can just record a line. You don't need fancy recording equipment. You can use an app on your phone. Let's see. Okay, so I sort of got that in there. Okay, I'm gonna do the terrainium next. I'll do the texturing on this guy later, but you know what we'll do? Let's go ahead and let's just spit this guy out and have him auto-rigged and mix him over, just so we can have him over here. Because I am, oh man, I like this guy. I like him. Okay. Great. Now we're going to use Miximo to auto-rig this for us, which is just fantastic. This system is a lifesaver. I used to rig things by hand, and it was an absolute nightmare. It was my most hated part. I really hated rigging by hand because it's so so time-consuming, and it's really frustrating. So having a system that can read for you is just really fantastic. Character. Alright, I will do a dragon draw. Attacks, we're going to do a dragon draw. And we're going to use mixed mode auto rig this guy. We'll just wait for that to go through and just enjoy it. Do the Terranians next. Let's see, we have the Sontor, and Victorious. So I'm going to use my asset database for the Victorious. I have sort of so I'll go ahead and just use those. And we'll wait for the upload. What I need to do as well, like that's not going to be the final version. What I need to do is optimize this guy so that I reduce the poly count where it's not needed. Right now it has 280,000 triangles or polygons if you want. I'm going to make his legs a little. This up a little bit. I don't really like how that looks. You need to consider how your character looks from different angles as well. Just forward facing. Like that. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's give it a little bit. Okay. Okay, so this is a Goltaxian. Let's see here. Look at his face. Oh man, this guy. I like this guy. Alright. How's Nick doing? Let's see here. Almost there. Okay. So I'm hoping so I'm launching a bunch of new games right now. I have a lot that are around 4 or 5 that are about 85% complete. So this month I'm finishing them and launching them on many different platforms. And then I'm hoping that with this next wave of games that I launch, I'll be able to fund the development of Breath of Thunder. Because I know that there's people out there are letting me know that despite the crowdfunding not reaching its target, people still really want Breath of Thunder. So I'm hoping that I can earn enough revenue with my upcoming launches. So it'll take another huge community effort to just spread the word and tell people about these games that are launching and ask content creators, to take a look at the game. Unfortunately, how it works in the industry right now for a small independent studio, unless you have a marketing budget where you can pay for ads and all of that stuff, if content creators do not cover your game, you're not going to get any sales. You're going to get your dedicated supporters, and those are the only people that will buy your product. And usually you get all your sales in launches. What in Sam Hill has happened here? Okay, so Miximo's kind of freaking out, man. So what we're going to do is we're just going to reduce the poly count. So make it easier for Miximo to handle. I'll say that as S2. What we're going to do is just reduce the selected. Reduce the selected. I'll use my reduce brush, and I'm going to manually reduce the detail on the character now, just where I can. So areas that don't require a whole lot of detail, I'm going to reduce the poly count there. You should be able to see that on the camera. As you can see, the number of triangles is now being reduced. So I'm simplifying the geometry, and in many cases you won't even notice a loss of detail. You're just optimizing. You can take things a little too far, as George Lucas once said, is you can take things a little too far. You may have gone a little too far in some places. I really like this mouth area, so I don't want to mess that up. I really like the shape of the head, so I don't want to mess that up too much. So I'm at 87,000 triangles right now. 86. I know depending on the target platform, you know, like on the Switch, you really want to try and keep it around like 30,000 comfortable. If it's the only character on screen, you know, go ham, you know. 100,000 is fine, but if you've got multiple characters on screen and it's on the Switch, you've got to have your character at like 20,000, and then Unity starts chugging at that point. Let's see, I'm at 78,000. I might aim for just a 70,000, because these are the one character on screen at the time. I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm at 73, but that's like a weird number, right? 72 is a pretty good, 72,000 is a good number. The back doesn't need as much, because you look at the back of the character less, you know, unless it's a first-person shooter. Alright, so we're at 71,000. I'm just going to leave it the way it is now. I'm going to save that. I'm going to disable symmetry. Just a one-way operation. And I'm going to now export the object again. Let's do that. So it was 20 megs before. Let's see what it is now. Okay, so we went from 20 megs to 5 megs in terms of our geometry. Let's go ahead and go back into Mixamo and give Mixamo the new... Okay, so use a 5 meg and enjoy our coffee while we wait. Alright. Okay, so that didn't take too long. Hopefully it won't be all jacked up this time. Hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, let's have a look here. Great, it worked fine that time. So I'm going to adjust the brightness on the camera further, as it seems that the sensitivity on that is just... there we go, how's that? That's a bit better. The screen's quite bright, isn't it? How's that? That looks better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just use Mixamo's rigging system here. Ooh, it's kind of freaking out with the touch screen, so I'm just going to use the mouse then. Mixamo's chugging on my machine. And again, this is a pretty old computer. I used this computer for Wii U development, so it is chugging a bit because it's an older machine, and Windows 10 has like a bloat system built in to where it keeps bloating itself over time, so Windows forces your computer to get worse so that you have to buy a new one. It's anti-consumer, but you know what? Every brand and every product does it. So I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying that it's something that we should be used to, is a bunch of BS. Okay. No fingers. Thank you. That's going to get so confused. It will not be able to auto-rig that. I could add fingers on my own, so maybe I will. Just want my knees in the right place, you know? Okay. So if we give... Oh man, what a cutie. I'm just looking at him spinning around. What a cutie. This guy's... I'm so happy with his design. You guys don't understand how much I like his design. It's really cute. What a cool little creature. So this is Goltaxian for Galaxy Drifter. I'll do the Terranians next. They're supposed to be the kind of lizard people. Okay. Let's see, it's processing. And it should give us a usable rig now. So, hey! Oh, thanks. This is red, so it's rigged up and he's ready to go. This is our boy now. This is our friend. I'm going to download him. Just down. Wow. Yeah, Mixamo chugs on this machine. This is an old machine. FBX for Unity. So yeah, you guys can use Mixamo to rig your characters as well. So you can see the process at you can do this yourself. You can create the sculpt using Sculptress, which is free. You can automatically rig your character using Mixamo, again, which is free. Scott Robertson, hey, thanks, good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out. So let's just go ahead and get some poses here. Like, let's just use Zombie Idol for a second. We'll click on Zombie Idol. So with this system, this hugely speeds up development time for games because you can now see just in the span of our chat so far, I created this creature from scratch, just from the ground up, and oh my god, look at his face! Look at his face! Oh, this guy makes me laugh. This guy cracks me up. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my own dude. I think it's really funny. Yeah, so you guys can see how quickly you can sculpt your own characters and then have them rigged up, and now I can download this and use it in a game engine, whether it's Unity or Unreal, Defold. What's the other one that people are using? What am I using? Oh man, I've been learning so many other game engines. Defold is what I'm using for other things. What's the other one that people went to after Unity announced their BS? He's so cute. Look at him. Let's give him this fun walk here. Godot. That's the one. That's the one. I tried Godot once. I installed it and opened it and had a look around it because I wanted to understand what it was all about. So let's give him a little rumba dance. It's a shame that my computer's chugging because I can't show you like a cool smooth animation. But you'll see him in the game, soon enough. Look at him! He's so adorable. Okay, we gotta stay on target. We gotta stay on task. We're going to work on the next race of face. Oh man, do you guys like this guy? What do you think of the Goltaxian? Oh my god, he's cute. I'm just gonna snap a picture of him real quick. What a cutie. This will look cool with, once I get the textures on there and the shading. How do I flip that around? So this guy's cute. I'm gonna put this on my social media. There we go. All right, let's get to our next guy. All right, so we did our thing. We've downloaded him. We've got the rigged version. So now any humanoid animation. So this is why it's so important to consider retargetable assets, especially if you are using Unreal and Unity. Is you need to develop your games with a concept known as retargetable assets. So I have spent a very long time collecting and creating humanoid animations for my games. So that way, when I rig a character as a humanoid, this character is a humanoid, I can go back to my asset database that has hundreds and hundreds of animations, and I can use those that have been created for generic human shaped characters. I can use those animations for this character, so I don't have to spend thousands of hours creating new animations for every single character. So let's go ahead and close this, and we'll now work on our Tauranians. So we have created Goltaxians. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Cute and funky peak alien stuff. This is really fun. This is my first time creating aliens. I've not done an alien thing before, so this is just such a fun experience. All right, let's go ahead and start a new scene, and we will work on our Tauranians. And what I'm going to do is, so this is a design consideration. From a design consideration, if I were to create clothes for the characters here, that's going to add significant development time. I would use something like Marvelous Designer. You can use mine or something, but Marvelous Designer has physics simulation for the clothes. So normally I would create my characters here, they would be naked. Then I would use Marvelous Designer to create clothes, but I don't have time for that right now. I have to get games launched, because I run my own studio and I have to keep launching new games to pay the bills. So I don't have time to make clothes. So what I'm going to do for a number of these characters, like the Tauranians, these are a lizard-like people, right? is I'm going to just put on like armor, some plates of armor on their body. They tend to be, you know, in the lore that I've written for the Terranians, they're more about combat. So space combat, right? Like, you know, hand-to-hand combat is, you know, like obviously, you know, that's where their culture and history comes from. But as they evolved towards a spacefaring race and a spacefaring culture, obviously they became very good at space combat. So I'm just going to give them like plates of armor, and then they're mostly going to be naked. And that is a design consideration that lets me save a lot of time. Okay, so we have those. Let's go ahead and get this thing going on in here. This is that sort of anthropomorphic animal leg shape. But I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat the system because this is not a humanoid shape, and it shouldn't work. But you can sort of, if you create it in such a way, you can actually just trick Mixamo into accepting this as a normal leg. So that's what I'm doing. You really need to employ as many techniques and strategies as you can, because every game has, you know, you don't have all the time in the world to make a game. So if you can employ a technique or strategy to speed things up a little bit and to trick your software into doing something for you, then, you know, do it. Okay. Let's have a look here. I'm gonna have to drag that back with grabbing too as well. Okay. Terranian. Okay, and then we'll just give him his feet here. And he should have like big feet, right? Because he's like a. But see, you're not. Here's the thing, like I don't need to put so much detail into this because the game is in a pixel art style, so I don't need to spend all the time in the world making this too detailed. Like I shouldn't have to model all of the toes, for example, because that would be a waste of my development time. Because the game is going to be in pixel art style. So that's something that I need to keep in mind as well, as I could end up wasting a lot of time that I don't need to waste. So I'm going to definitely keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to zoom out, and you need to keep in mind your center of gravity and your balance here. So let's move that forward. And he's going to lean forward. He's going to lean forward a little bit as well. So let's go ahead and grab this a little bit here. Okay, and I'm kind of thinking that's good now, so let's go ahead and start building our torso, but first, this is a race of Lizardos, so we're going to go ahead and just give them a little bit of a tail here now. And then I will add, you know, musculature to it later on, so that it, you know, it does look like it's attached better. So this is the coccyx, right? Yeah, we don't have a tail. Our spine terminates at our coccyx, whereas like a lizard, you know, that sort of would just extend out into a tail here. So I'll smoothen that out. That's not looking real good down there. But let's just go ahead and just give ourselves a nice lizard tail here. And this is the race in Galaxy Drifters known as the Terranians. We'll smoothen that out. Don't worry about that. We'll smoothen it out. It'll be fine. There we go. A little something like that. We'll smoothen that out. We'll hit that with the smooth brush. Let's go ahead and grab that. Now we're just going to move that down in there. Can you guys see this all right? Maybe I should turn the brightness up again a little bit. I'll manually adjust that. That's okay there. Yeah. Hey, Tamale Muncher. Good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out. You tried a couple of lines, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Well, if there's any that you're confident about for Galaxy Drifter, if there's any you're confident with, just send it through. You know, just pick something that you're comfortable with, that you like. And again, I'm not looking, you know, for professional, you know, voice acting. I want this to feel like it was recorded in the 90s, where they played it fast and loose and they shot from the hip. And there's an awkwardness to the voice acting. And I believe a good portion of that comes from the fact that when the performers were given their lines, they weren't given a whole lot of directing and context. And I believe they were given lines out of order as well. And so it ends up with delivery that you kind of feel like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't match the situation. It's kind of weird. And that's part of the charm of it. So that's why I'm not giving people a lot of direction on this, and I'm not giving them a whole heap of context. Let me zoom out. Those are the chonkiest lizard legs I have ever seen. I guess that's how it is. This is just how it is. Might be a little too chonky, huh? Let's get a little bit of a thigh gap in there, I think. Right? Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Thigh gap? I don't know how to keep up with all this young people language. Let's see. Thanks for letting us know you're going to use pixel art style. Remember, video games used to be in the pixel art style. Yeah. Hey, Sean, have you seen my latest posts on, like, say, for example, Twitter? And check this YouTube channel, because I posted a video, I think, 2 days ago, and you can see the game running. You can see Galaxy Drifter. You can see the gameplay. You can have a look at it. You can see the pixel art style. But it uses, you know, real-time lighting and all that. And you know, I want the special effects to look really cool with the particle effects. But, you know, I have limited time to work on all these projects, so I can't, you know, spend a ton of time making heaps of special effects. So I'm just focusing on a couple special effects, you know, in terms of, you know, laser blasts and explosions, and just trying to make them look really cool, you know. Okay. So I like to put a little nodule where my elbow's going to be, just so I know visually where the elbow should be. There we go. That's too much, but I can fix that later, but that just lets me know. And I think that what is that bone? That's the humerus down there. And that is, no, that's the humerus. That's the femur. This is the humerus bone. Very humorous. I think my humerus is too long. Okay, let's go ahead and wind things down like that. Okay. And my radius and ulna will be my forearms here, so let's go ahead and give a little bit of that. Okay, let's look at that. That's looking pretty good, actually. Let me go ahead and grab some things and move some things around. There are some games that are pixel art style with most AAA games, but most indie devs do use pixel art style to give their games that old school retro classic vibes. I really prefer the sort of creative freedom that independent developers have, because independent developers are not run by a committee, whereas AAA studios are run by, you know, committee and investors, and they need to have a return on their investment, which means that their decisions are entirely governed by how fast can we make a ton of money. And that is not conducive to the creative process. That destroys any sort of creativity and experimentation. So AAA games, I have a hard time enjoying games that come from the AAA industry these days, because they tend to be like, for example, you know, look at all these weird side games that come from Resident Evil. Like, why does Resident Evil keep trying to make Fortnite and PUBG? Why did Final Fantasy make a PUBG clone? What is going on, you know? And you see this tendency to, or a fascination with using that that seasonal live service model to create game experiences that aren't necessarily focused on fun, but on psychological manipulation to keep people playing and to keep them spending money. And I'm not enjoying that. I'm not having fun with that at all. I've tried it because I need to understand what it's all about. And no, sir, I do not like it one bit. No, sir, I do not. So I mostly play games from smaller independent studios, or I play older games because older games don't have the problem with monetization that our modern games have. It's just not fun, you know, and I'm not criticizing anyone that enjoys live service games. If you like that sort of thing, that's all you know, and like what you like. Don't let anyone tell you what to enjoy. I'm just saying that for me, I prefer games that are made with the intention of bringing something fun to the player, as opposed to manipulating them into being stuck playing their game and spending money on their game. So, you know. I'm just going to give this guy a couple fingers. Just a couple fingers. Just a couple. That looks weird. I'm going to give him just one more little thingy. One more little thingy. And again, it's pixel art style. I'm probably taking things a little too far because I'm sort of I'm caught up in the chat and I'm just sort of gabbing away and talking. And I tend to focus less, you know, on my objectives if I'm chatting. But I'll just go ahead and give him another little finger here. And again, I shouldn't be spending so much time on the smaller details because the game's pixel art style, and the characters tend to stay pretty far away from the camera anyway. You only see them when you're recruiting them, basically. So it doesn't super matter. These details don't super matter. And if people enjoy the lore, if they like the game, and they want to see more from this IP, then I'm more than happy to create more games. But that's really depends on, you know, if these games sell well, if people enjoy them, then I'll consider it. Okay. But lizards, right? Lizards are kind of you think of them as sleek creatures, right? They're agile. You don't tend to think of lizards as chonky boys. So I'm going to slenderize these a little bit. So I'm going to go to the inflate tool, and I'll hold shift, and holding shift reverses the effect of the tool. And so instead of inflating, it will slenderize. That's a word that definitely exists. So let's go ahead and slenderize our little fingies. I'm going to get caught up with the chat here. Yes, battle passes are the bane of my existence. I've tried them because I don't want to be this, you know, mean-spirited curmudgeon that says, oh, everything modern sucks. I've tried battle passes. I've done all that. I've personally picked certain games and I said, okay, I'm going to aim to try and get all of the weekly objectives, all the monthly objectives. Hey, Pseudonym, good to see you. How are you doing? Thanks for coming to hang out. So I have picked games, both console and mobile games, where I thought, okay, I'm going to see how this affects my life. And all of those games had a significant effect on my life. They're designed to make you addicted, so you keep coming back to the games. So I'm not trying to piss down on these games from a great height. I went in there, played those games to understand them, and I understood what a horrible effect those games had on my life. So it's bad. It's really bad, the effect that those games have. Especially a whole sort of, oh, you didn't buy the Battle Pass, so, you know, you only need to spend, 130 hours a week playing these games to get all the content now. And it's like, you can't expect people to do that, you know? This is why smart indie games are beating AAA games now, because I think AAA games are not as fun as they used to be. Yeah, it's a bummer because there are very good AAA games out there, but the vast majority of AAA games now are just focused on monetization, and it's giving a bad reputation to the good AAA games out there, you know? It's a real bummer. I'm going to leave that there like that. I'll come back to that. I'm spending a little bit too much time on the hands, which is what artists do. Does anyone in the chat draw? I'd like to hear from you if you draw, and how much what is the percentage of when you're drawing, what is the percentage of time you spend on hands? When I draw characters, like my favorite part is the faces. You know, you get expression in there and you do like a cool pose, something dynamic and interesting for the character. And then like you realize you just spent 4 hours on the hands and you've been erasing and redrawing that hand over and over again. And that's just how it is for drawing. Tamale Muncher. I just thought about it, but it's going to sound interesting with multiple people voicing the same character. So there isn't just one character, so to speak. Like, there aren't named characters in Galaxy Drifter. You have crew members. And so the reason why I wanted different people voicing the races is that it's meant to feel like these are all different people in that race. So again, there are no named characters. A character from a race will appear and they'll ask to join your crew, and you can either recruit them or reject them, and that's when it plays the voice line. And so that way, it feels like there's, you know, a lot of people in the universe, you know, a lot of people in this race. So let me go ahead and make my lizard face, my lizard head now. We got to have sort of a cranium, right? There we go. That's starting to look like what we want. This is a lizard. This is a lizard person now. This is what we want. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. Okay. So this is absurdly fun for me because I've not made aliens before. So this is cool. This is really cool. I'm enjoying this. I'm so glad you guys are here just to hang out and chat while I work on my games, because this is my job. This is my day job. This is my night job. And you guys know how grindy a job gets, right? Can you imagine just being able to hang out and chat with people while you're doing your day job? Like, I'm really lucky I get to do that. Are you ever going to play my game on stream? I don't know. I don't really play games on stream. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. And I'm not a YouTuber, so I think you might be asking the wrong person, Pseudonym, because my audience is not looking to me to play games. Yeah, my audience mainly is here because they've probably played and like a specific game that I've made. Most of my audience is here for Silver Falls, and so they're not here to watch me play games on YouTube. And I don't play games on YouTube because I'm not a YouTuber. But try asking around, because you know there are YouTubers that look for smaller independent developers and they'll play their games. So try that. But I think you might be asking the wrong person here. I think the people that are here are not here to watch me play games, and I wouldn't know how to make it interesting because I'm not a YouTuber and I don't play games. I don't know how to make that interesting. So I don't think it'd be good if I did that. I think it'd be pretty dull. I don't have that kind of bombastic internet personality to do that well. Okay. I feel the same way. Don't want games to feel like a job. Yeah, it is those sort of live service games do. They're designed to sort of trap you, and it does become a job. So, all right, let's go ahead and start giving this guy some muscles here. So you get your shape there, and to start out with, your shape is going to look adorable. You know, there's no two ways around it. Your shape just will be adorable, and then you add form to it with your musculature and your tendons. So you have to have some understanding of anatomy, and even though this is not a real creature, having some understanding of human anatomy is vital because it helps you understand where muscles attach, where your tuberosities would be, where your tendons are, and it helps you create something that doesn't exist in a way that looks visually relatable, that looks like it could be a real creature. Let's see, Brendan Goldman. Well, they're different characters of the same species. Yeah, Brendan got it. Brendan's said it more efficiently than I did, certainly. Okay, let's get the clavicle in there. Whoa, that is a beefy clavicle. He should be a muscular sort of a fellow, right? Because his race is sort of all about battle, you know? And again, I'm going to end up wasting too much time. I know, because that's just what I do, so I'm going to be careful about it. I'm going to end up wasting too much time on the detail, despite the fact that the game is pixel art and the characters appear from a distance. So I'm just going to make sure I keep that in mind and dial it back a little bit. Okay. Guys, look at his pose right now. What? What? He looks like he's doing like a South Park. You're like, what, bro? Come on. Come at me, bro. What, bro? What you want, bro? Sean, I also respect if some love, enjoy AAA games. You know, there's an appeal there still. You know, you can still have fun with them and whatnot. Yeah, you know, maybe people here in the chat, is anyone like a sort of a, does anyone do that in the chat where they play games and play them on live stream? It's such a specific skill. Playing games, you know, on the internet or YouTube, or whether it's a recording or live stream, it's such a specific skill. And it really takes work and experience to make it entertaining. So I'm going to slenderize this fella a little bit, just so he looks more sleek and powerful. And again, I need to keep in mind that I'm not supposed to be wasting too much time on fine details. But see, like, what if people enjoy Galaxy Drifter? What if they enjoy it and then they say something like, "Oh, I want a Fortnite clone, I want a PUBG clone of set in the Galaxy Drifter universe." Then I have these character models here. You know, then I can work on them a little bit more. I can make them a little more detailed. You know. So my knees shouldn't be chunky. Let's go ahead and slenderize our knees just a little bit. We got to get an eyeball in there as well. So I'm just going to give him a little bit of musculature around here again. I said that I wouldn't, I said I wouldn't spend too much time on this. And I kind of am a little bit. So I'm going to wrap this guy up very quickly here. And then I'm going to work a little bit on a monster design. Because I'm working on a sort of a first-person horror game that sort of uses a kind of a retro style, as well as I'm kind of on a little bit of a trend right now in terms of I've got a visual aesthetic that I really like, and I just want to make a few games with this aesthetic for a while. Let's see. We're going to smoothen that out because I kind of jacked that up a little bit. I really jacked that up. Wow. Okay, let's just use the smooth tool here. So, has anyone in the chat played the South Park game on the phone? Oh, what's it called? Phone Smasher? Phone Breaker? What's it called? What's it called? I have to look it up now. South Park phone game. Phone Destroyer. Has anyone in the chat played Phone Destroyer? So that is one example of a sort of a live service, you know, sort of a game that's meant to keep you playing long term. That is the best example of ethical live service, is South Park Phone Destroyer. In that you still can have a significant amount of enjoyment and fun without spending money, but you will reach a point where people just have a significant advantage over you, and then you can't win battles, and then your rank will keep dropping. But then when your rank drops, you're just going to get matched up with people who have a rank that's closer to yours, so you can battle those people. But in terms of just overall fun, presentation, I would say Phone Smasher is the most ethical live service game, and I had a huge amount of fun with it. I played it for about a month, I think, and it was so cool. And of course, you have the benefit of all the South Park lore and characters and the voices and the music. It's so fun. Has anyone played it? I didn't spend any money on Phone Smasher either. I don't know why I said that like I was casually, like a humble brag, like I didn't spend any money on Phone Destroyer. But that's a game that you can really enjoy. It's really fun. I'm going to spend too much time on the feet. I'm just going to give them 3. I'm just going to do 3. I'm only doing 3 toes. I'm only doing 3. I'm only doing 3. Wow, this poly count is so high. So high, bro. Oops. I got chonky toeitis there. I'm gonna catch up here. Tamale Mantra, you do play gacha, but after a while you decided to not care as much about getting everything. That's what happens. I think you get exhausted. There's just a natural point of exhaustion you reach with gacha games. I've tried a heap. I've tried a bunch, because again, I need to understand what's going on with the industry, what's going on with games. There are a couple that I enjoyed. I really liked Record Keeper, Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I would say is an excellent example of ethical gacha game. It is the only ethical gacha game that I've seen. And every other one has been quite predatory. Did anyone play Record Keeper, Final Fantasy? Unfortunately, the global version of that game is shut down, which is a real bummer, because it was a cool game. Very cool. Let's give them just a heal. I've spent way too much time on this, and I'm focusing on things that don't matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to optimize this now. That is, I can't just say no. I can't just say no. And that's my problem. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call that, because again, it's a pixel style game. I'm just going to look at my shape. Let me finish my face here. I didn't even do my arms. I said I was going to call it, but I can't. This is what's wrong with me. All right. Let's go ahead and give him some biceps. A little bit of a triceps. Some forearms. Just some muscle. How can I quickly... I'm just speedrunning this. I don't know if this looks like it's tool assisted or whatever. I am speedrunning this character just like... okay. Let's go ahead and smoothen this out a little bit. No, I don't want to smooth it. Grab it. I've spent way too much time on this already. Oh, let's see. I just need to get more detail. Okay, so fine, right? Just a little bit more detail. Just a little bit like that. Just a little bit more, you know. Okay, smoothing tool. Okay. I'm gonna finish the head, and then I'm gonna call it. I smoothed that too much. Hold on. Let's just kill the wireframe for a second and have a look. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's just finish our lizard face. We've got to make him just a little pokier. You tried to get a refund on Tekken 8 after they introduced a battle pass. Ooh, I heard you had to pay for the outfits, which is such a bummer. I'm so disappointed to hear that. Oops. Give him a little bit of shape here. Now, lizards tend to have a kind of a ridge, right? They have like a sagittal crest and a ridge of some kind. You're not even going to see the back of the character in the game. I don't know why I'm spending time on that. And then their nostrils sort of flare out, you know, a little bit there. So let's go ahead and give them that. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh yeah! Oh yeah, that's looking good. Got some jaw muscles in there. That's looking muscular down there. Okay, when I'm doing work like at this step, it is actually kind of hard to pay attention to the chat. Let's give him some nose holes. Okay. I can paint it black on the inside, you know, the way that Rolling Stones would. So I don't want the eyes to be like adorable, so let me figure out how to make the eyes not adorable. But they are a highly evolved species. They have high visibility. So I just got to look at my proportions here. Your proportions largely determine your adorability aspect of something. Like if I went like that would be adorable, wouldn't it? Like a huge eyeball like that. So I'm... And what we're going to do is give a little bit of a suborbital protuberance, and that will give some shape to the form of the eyeball. So we'll have a brow ridge here. Let's have that a continuous line if we can. And a suborbital, something like that. Hey! Alright, okay. Now our nose is sticking out a little too far maybe, and it's just a little too chunky in the front. It is very cute, so we're going to go ahead and grab and slim that down just a little bit. Okay, and this work does actually require more of my attention. Again, I am at work right now, and this stuff requires more attention, so I'm falling behind in the chat. I'm going to slim down his mouth so it's a little less cute. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. What do you guys think of that so far? What do you think of that? I'm pretty happy with that. I've damaged some of my integrity here. So I'm going to use the smooth tool to just clean that up. And again, for anyone that missed it earlier in the chat, I announced a new community mashup project that I'll be working on. And so what I'll be working on with the community mashup is a platform fighter, so similar to Smash Bros. But how it's going to work is I create the game framework, so the game itself is done and finished. And what we do on live stream, every few weeks we'll all hang out and chat on live stream. He needs a bump. He needs to have a bump there. Otherwise it's wrong. What we'll do is we'll hang out on live stream, and you guys just throw out whatever idea you want for a new character added to my platform fighter. And whatever comes out in the chat, we're going to make a character. I'll sculpt it here on live stream, and then you guys just throw out your ideas for the moveset, and we'll make it. And so every few weeks we'll do that. We'll just add a new character to our community platform fighter, and it's going to be our game. It's going to be your game. Whatever you want it to be, we'll make that into the game. So I think it's just going to be a heap of fun, and it's a concept that I've been mulling over and planning for a while now. And it's thanks to the we did the test run of the community mashup last week, and that's what's given me some opportunity to consider it. And I think I'm really confident now that we can get it to work as a community, and I think it's just going to be so much fun. Just need to work on my crotch a little bit, if you don't mind. Please don't mind me working on my crotch. It's not a big deal. It's a part of life. Don't make a big deal about it. smoothen that all out, and then we'll reduce the polygon. So let's step back. And there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is optimize this fella. He's got too many polygons. Poly count is too high. So this is terrainian. Okay, now I will get caught up with the chat. Let's see. Customization is vital to tech, and they literally gatekeep content from 8 are selling it as DLC. I'm so disappointed to hear that. That is such a bummer. But that's the AAA industry. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, I do not believe we will be able to influence that behavior from AAA studios. I think that's here to stay, and it's only going to get worse. And that's a shame, but hey, that's life, man. You gotta roll with the punches, and this is one punch that we're not going to be able to stop from happening. So what I'm doing is using the reduce brush and reducing the polygonal detail, so I can target areas that don't need as much detail, and I can reduce the polygon. And I'm at 334,000, which is still a ton. If I can get it, maybe around 80,000 would be alright. That's not good. I didn't realize that I was unfinished. Okay. I have to finish that. I have to get that looking better. There we go. Okay. So, okay, now I really am getting caught up with the chat. You draw and hands hurt. They take a large amount of time for you for sure. Hands they're just a part of drawing, and that's tough. They're frustrating. The head is coming along. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like that. You know, that's what I should have spent the majority of my time focusing on. That's it. Oh, we'll get a cool eyeball. So I'm going to keep the poly count pretty high for the head because that's where it's, you know, that's where the detail matters. But inside, not so much. You can reduce the poly count in there. No one's looking in there. I don't want to reduce. Did you see me touch the screen like that? There's a slider on the side here. Okay, I'm at 184,000 triangles right now. Yeah, usually lizards don't look adorable. Don't get me wrong. I do think lizards look cool. Yeah, you know, in general, especially in like fiction and whatnot, lizards tend to be the cool, you know, sort of a character. They're not generally the cute ones. And I think that's because we sort of attribute a sense of ruggedness and danger to lizards, and that doesn't really vibe well with cuteness. So I think that's, yeah, you make a good point there. I think that's why it's important that you use our cultural expectations as part of the storytelling process, whether you play into it or whether you go against it and have something interesting to say. I'm at 126,000 polygons. That's still a lot. That's a high polygon still. I'll shave some off. If I get under 100,000, I'll be happy. Because this is a pretty detailed fellow here. Back here, there's a bunch of polygons. Sonic still looks great and cool in my opinion. I'm a big Sonic guy. I really like Sonic stuff. You know, even if they're not great. You know, Sega can always try again next time. Ooh, and speaking of monetization, you know what? So I really like Sonic Superstars. I did not like the ever-present monetization in that. It was all over the place, it was constantly in my face, and it was very off-putting, and it soured the whole game for me. Like, I actually, enjoyed it. I had fun with the Superstars, but constantly, like, having things flashing constantly in the menu, like, ooh, do you want to buy this for Sonic? It's off-putting. I didn't like it. All right, I'm under 1,000. I am under 1,000. Okay, this is great. Let's go ahead and shove some eyeballs on up in there. But thanks for sharing you're going to make a fighting game that is similar to Smash Bros. I just think it's going to be something really fun that we can all do together. You guys can throw out whatever ridiculous idea that you want, and I'll turn it into a character. And we can make, a hilarious moveset, and I'll do the sculpting and creating the character on stream. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. Okay, you want to add an object. Let's get our eyeballs in there. Here's the grab tool. And let's jam our eyeballs on up in there like that. This is cursed right now. This is very cursed. And now eyeballs are not perfectly round, So what we're going to do is sort of ellipsicalize. I'm going to ellipsicalize his eyeball a little bit, so it's there we go. A little something. Oops. A little something like that. Okay, now hopefully I can just do a global grab. So we need a little bit more mass back here is what I'm feeling. Just a little bit suborbital mass here. Because it's the eye tissue, the eye nerves connect to the back of the head, so let's get some just there. All right, I think I may have gone a little too far in some places. I'm going to dial it back here. Okay, and I've gone over my poly count. I'm going to go into the eyeball as well and reduce the poly count on the eyeball on that side. We're going in, guys. Inner Space. Who watched Inner Space here? Any Inner Space fans? I'm doing an Inner Space. This is a cultural reference. I am good at cultural references because I understand pop culture? Actually, I'm not great at pop culture. Oh crap! I'm still over 1,000 here, or 100,000. Let's reduce a little bit more here. I need to get under 100,000. Don't want to mess that part up, really. Let's see, we're so close to being under 100,000. We're at 97. Great, great. I'm calling it. Cool. Let's go ahead and rig this guy. So this is a Terranian. He took significantly longer than the Ghoul Taxi. All right, I'll go S3. Let's go ahead and rig this guy up. Okay, we're going to export him. The only Sonic game you did not like that was bad was Sonic Dark Chronicles. There's a really weird clunkiness to that game. I enjoyed it because it was an RPG, so I'm going to like things if they're an RPG. Like, I'm already heavily weighted towards that, and I really like Sonic. But that game is rough, and it's not the developer's fault, really. They just had it rough. They really had it rough. Okay, and let's just hope that Miximo can rig this guy all right. No issues. Okay, Miximo, where are you? We need you now, more than ever. You think that Sonic Frontiers is great too? I've only played the demo, and I thought it was really cool. Frontiers. Will not tolerate any Sonic stuff. There's some mixed opinions on Sonic Frontiers. Is what am I thinking of? Wait. Oh, okay. So Frontiers is the open world view. And Forces is the one where you get to make your own custom Sonic character, isn't it? That's kind of fun. I think that's cool to make your own this custom Sonic race. Edward Rivera, hey, good to see you. I recently got around to playing Sonic Riders for the first time and I was pleasantly surprised. That's cool. That game has attitude, and you're playing into what makes Sonic, Sonic. You got the speed, you're zipping around at the speed of sound. Yeah, I think Sonic games tend to be polarizing. I think that's why they're interesting now these days. Really digging the tunes. Oh, so with this setup, I can't tell what music's playing, but I hope you like it. I can't tell what music's playing. So let me adjust the exposure level on the buttons. There's a Sonic RPG. It was on DS. It was Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood or something like that. Yeah. Forces is the one with a few seconds demo. Is that a troll? Do you think they did that as a troll? To let people play Sonic Forces for a couple seconds? Your demo cannot afford to be bad. Like, that's the one thing that will destroy your product even before it launches. Is if your demo is no good. Oof, that's going to be rough. All right, let's hope. Now we have to pray. We're basically praying that Miximo will auto-rig this for us. Otherwise, we'll have to do it manually, and that is annoying. It is annoying to have to rig on your own, because it's very tedious. Miximo's a decent product. It's chugging because my computer's very old. This is what I use for video. This is an old computer. Again, don't hold it against Miximo that it's chugging. It's not Miximo's fault. I'll pick standard because I want it to find out how many fingers there are. Okay, everyone, if you could all cross your fingers for me, let's see if Miximo can auto-rig this. I know that I'm going to have to work on the blend weights for the head because Miximo isn't really designed for heads of that shape, so I will have to do some manual there. So I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty pleased with this Terranian. And in engine, I'm just going to put some armor on him to give him a little bit of guns. Fingers crossed, everyone. Fingers crossed, come on. And this screen that I'm using is a Wacom Cintiq 23-inch. I think this came out of like a former animation studio or something. I got it at a really good price at a pawn shop, cash converters. So I'm very, very lucky to have a Cintiq like this. Come on, Miximo. What have you got for me? Is it good? Come on, Miximo. Give me something good. And then I'll manually adjust the abundance on it, because I know it's not going to be fun. Your mom had a nice display despite her. Ouch! So when I was in high school, my friends and I had to agree to stop making your mom jokes because we did it way too much. We did it! I will have to fix the tail. I'll manually make adjustments. I'm pretty glad. I'm pretty glad with this end result. Let's have a look at this one. This is good enough. This is sick. Yeah, when I was in high school, my friends and I had to do a peace treaty, and we had to agree. It was like our Geneva Convention in high school. It was no more your mom jokes and no more that's what she said, because all of our high school conversations would devolve into your mom or that's what she said, and it got so annoying that all of my friends and I agreed, Geneva Convention, no more, we have to stop. Great. You just got an ad for Freedom Planet 2. Oh! I bought Freedom Planet 1 and played a fair bit of that. I think I bought it on the Wii U, maybe. That was so cool. Oh, that game is awesome. I didn't know they did a Freedom Planet 2. So that's very cool. Alright, I downloaded that. I'll look that up. So let's have a look. Let's get some animations. Let's get him hip-hop dancing. And let's see what he looks like. Okay. And this is our Toranian for Galaxy Drifter. We had a Freedom Planet 1 from Humble Bundle on Wii U. Nice. Hey guys, this turned out okay. Look at that. This is alright. He's doing a little dance, which is cool. It's a shame that Mixamo chugs on this machine. Again, it's not Mixamo. It's not the service's fault. The computer's just old. It's an old computer. He's doing a little dance, which is fun. Fun little lizard dance. What do you guys think of this? Yeah, this will work. This is good enough. Imagine a Silver Falls Humble Bundle. I don't know how to do a Humble Bundle, but at some point in the future we would like to do that. And if you guys are interested, I do have 3 games on the Switch right now. If you want to help support my studio and check out my gameplay, 3 Silver Falls games on the Switch. I have Episode Prelude, Ghoul Busters, and Guardians and Metal Exterminators S. I would say Guardians and Metal Exterminators S is I would say it's the best one right now. It has the most content. I think it's the most fun. It has an 80s rock soundtrack. Right now, the worst series in the whole game is Episode Prelude, because I was stuck with a super broken of Unity. The Unity that I was forced to use for Episode Prelude was so broken, and it was really soul-crushing, because I had just come from creating games using Unity 3DS, and that was the most broken thing. And that was already very disappointing, but the fact that I moved to the Switch and had to use a very broken version of Unity was soul-crushing, and so that game is very rough. And I haven't had the opportunity to update it yet because the game just doesn't sell well to justify me spending like a month to update Episode Prelude. So at some point in the future, Episode Prelude will get an update. At the moment, I can't afford to spend the time to update it right now. Ghoul Busters is insanely fun. I strongly recommend, if you're interested in platformers, check out Ghoul Busters on the Switch. Try to put that one on sale regularly. And I'll try to put Guardians and Metal Exterminators S on sale pretty soon as well. I'll see how soon I can put that on sale. But oh, it's hard to hear. Okay, so some music I think is going to be a little too loud. Thanks for letting me know. I'll just turn that down a little bit. So that's the Guardians and Metal Exterminators soundtrack that's playing right and that's pretty loud. Okay. Blizzard looks good to me. I don't know if you see my comment when I said I would love to see adorable bunny rabbit in the game. Oh, yeah, no, we could, at some point there could be a race of sort of bunny rabbit people. You know, if we do a Galaxy Drifter 2, or if we do more games set in the Galaxy Drifter IP, then we can totally do that, absolutely. Okay, so... Alright. Okay, so we've done that. I've got to make a creature now. Okay. So this is not for Galaxy Drifter. This is for something else. I'm just going to do it really fast. I don't have a huge amount of time to get all these games done. So this is a creature called. It's a horror creature called the Gentleman. So this is, I'm working on something called Beware the Gentleman. Just a little horror game that's just going to be a bit of fun. It's not set in Silver Falls. It's very tough creating Silver Falls games because there's a huge, I'd say a Bible when it comes to developing for Silver Falls, and there are so many explicit rules on what I can and can't do in Silver Falls to maintain the lore and the logic and the consistency of Silver Falls. So I want to be able to do other horror games and execute on other horror concepts as well. So I'm creating something called Beware the Gentleman. I spelled it wrong. Gentleman. Okay, and I need to turn up the exposure again. There's no cute bunnies in the cold expanse of space. I kind of think a cute bunny would stay on their nice, comfortable planet. If they were in space, I think they'd be probably a bit tough. Now, you gotta be a little tough to be in space. I got another idea. I think a spider creature would be awesome for this game you're working on. See, spiders are cool. The problem is rigging and animating them is a nightmare. It's very time consuming, and it's really it's something you gotta commit a lot of time to. So unless I have a very good reason to, I don't do spider-shaped creatures because they're very time consuming to produce. So my legs are a little bit forward leaning. Let's go ahead. I wonder what stopped them from porting Mighty No. 9 to 3DS and Vita. It takes highly specialized knowledge and understanding to create games for the 3DS. It's very difficult, and if you use Unity, it's going to be broken. Unity is it's a broken game engine. I don't think they used Unity for Mighty No. 9. I don't know what they did. I never played Mighty No. 9, so I don't understand. I don't know why they didn't bring it to Vita. It's likely that their game relied... Oh, so this is my analysis. It's likely that Mighty No. 9 relied on a number of shaders that were complex and did not work efficiently on the Vita. Meaning, if they used those shaders on the Vita, then it would result in very choppy gameplay. And a platformer is the kind of game that can't afford to have bad frame rate, as we saw on the Wii U version was bad, right? Was very choppy for Mighty No. 9. So that's what I think has happened. It takes such specialized knowledge, and unless you work on creating a Vita and 3DS games, full time, you are not going to have an understanding of what it takes to make a game work on that. It's so specific, and those platforms have such quirks. And I can say that because I've produced multiple titles for the 3DS. I haven't produced anything commercial for the Vita, but I have spent significant time working on the Vita, and I've launched numerous homebrew on the Vita. So this is from my experience. I would say that they did not have dedicated developers for the Vita and 3DS, and you need dedicated developers for the Vita and 3DS. And I believe they didn't have that, so that's why Mighty No. 9 never came to the 3DS and Vita. Is that torso long enough? It is not. So this is what's going to be difficult. This character needs to be wearing a flesh coat. And I'm just in my brain, I'm working on this right now, I'm just in my brain, I'm figuring out how I'm going to execute putting a flesh coat on this guy. So we're gonna see what happens during the sculpt. We'll see, we'll see. Body number 9 was an Unreal 3, I think. Then it would have been far too heavy. That is far too heavy for the 3DS, which means they would have had to do it from scratch. So when they made the promise of putting Mighty No. 9 on the 3DS and Vita, they did not actually understand what it would take to put that game on those platforms. So they made a business promise, a business proposition that they did not understand. You will end up making people very angry if you do that. Like there was some impossible barrier in development. The reason why I don't want to be video game artist and animation cartoon artist anymore is because I realize that it's really hard to do and not easy at all. Absolutely, there's so much challenge, there's so much stress, and especially if you're working with other people and working on a tight schedule, it's tough. You know, it's really difficult to work in any kind of industry where you produce art, because a big problem that we see as well is artists generally will be underappreciated by management, and whoever is up top will take the most credit, and they will treat the actual artists, the actual people who create the end product, those people will be treated like garbage. It's weird that our industry has turned out that way, that the worst, crappiest people somehow get to the top, and they call the shots. That's the world, man. You just gotta accept that that's what the world is. I want some long arms on this fellow. You know, you just gotta do what you can. You do the best that you can, and you gotta keep a positive attitude, because there are things about the world that really suck. The fact that artists in general are treated so poorly and make the least amount of money, while the people at the top, the people that do the least amount of work, and the people that do the most damage to their brand and to their industries, those are the people making the most money. I do not understand. I don't understand how that can be. That's just how the world is, and you can't be bitter about it. You have to find a way to stay positive about it. And that's just how the world is, baby. Alrighty, let me just figure out a way to get some finkies on this guy. What was it? Yeah. Alright. We gotta get some long, slender fingies on this fella. I think we're going okay. We're going all right here, guys. Hey, okay, this is a good start. This is a good start. You'd be surprised how many people in power aren't really there because they are qualified. In general, people that are in positions of power, especially like high management positions, are there because they are willing to stab people in the back, and they are willing to do what it takes to get to the top. They will do no matter what it takes, they'll do whatever it takes to get to the top. And unfortunately, I don't know why that's how the world works. I don't know, I don't understand it. You just gotta roll with it. It sucks. Everyone knows it sucks. And that's how it is for some reason. Okay. Now this is going to be... So this is a cryptid called the Gentleman. We're going to have to slenderize this fella a fair bit. Alright, so I do have to get a little bit of detail right on his hands here. Let's chunkify our knuckles a little bit. Okay. Get a little shape to our hand here. Okay, I've put a little bit too much effort into the hands. But again, this is a horror creature, you know, so there are going to be certain aspects of it where they're just going to be unsettling to look at. Okay. So he's going to have multiple elements that are going to be kind of upsetting here. So let's see, his hands. I can scale down the hands down a little bit. I think the hands might be a little too big right now. Okay. I was also thinking about being indie developer, but I changed my mind on that. Either, sure, we indies have the freedom to make games, but the problem is that it will still be hard. It's very difficult. And the problem that I'm facing is that it's so difficult to get content creators to cover your games, because the way that the industry is right now is that content creators can earn a lot of money by covering games, and so people pay content creators to cover their games, which means that the landscape is shifting to our content creators need to pay their bills. So why shouldn't they focus on just, you know, taking the jobs where people pay them to talk about their games? And unfortunately, I don't have a marketing budget, which means I can't pay content creators to cover my games. And in general, like I've never gotten a content creator to cover a Silver Falls game by asking them. The only people that have covered my games are people that found my games on their own and have a personal interest in my game, and so they covered it that way. I have never been successful in contacting anyone about my games. I just get ignored, which is really tough. It's tough, and that's how it is. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, here we go. So, I'll use the scale tool. Grab. So we want this guy's neck to be... I want this guy's head to be sort of craning over the player, right? So he's a tall fella. The neck's got to be pretty slender as well. So I need to figure out how to put a flesh coat on this fella. He's got to have a big smile as well. Okay, so if you guys get scared or disturbed by sort of like, you know, upsetting cryptids or creatures, now's probably a good time to check out. So, because this is a horror creature, so I'm going to start working on the horror aspects now. So here we go. I warned you. So we're going to give him. So the gentleman it's a horror cryptid that I've been working on for a while in terms of the concept and the design, and so now I finally get to sculpt it, and so I'm happy that I get to sculpt it. I might have to add the teeth in some other time. See, if I add the teeth in engine, I can make it to where, like, if you fight him, then maybe like the teeth can fall out when you fight him. Okay, smooth. Is the music all right, or is it too loud at the moment? That's not what I wanted. Okay. Trying to fix that in there. Smooth. Reduce brush. Okay, cool. Not sure why that's not responding properly right now, but I'll get back to it later. Okay. So, in general, things that are scary are things that are, they look familiar, so they're relatable visually, like you kind of understand what it is, but something is not right about it. Okay. And so there's an element of recognizing something, but you can see that it's not right, and your brain is searching for an answer of what is not right about this. Your brain knows there's something not right, but it can't exactly pinpoint it, and that's what makes an interesting horror design. So we go ahead and just work on that. Oops. Edward Rivera, I don't have any social media except YouTube. How would I reach out to you if I want to do a line for Galaxy Drifter? Let's see. Send an email, Edward Rivera. What's like a... Okay, Edward. Okay, Edward, can you make a note of that? The email address there. Go ahead and make a note of that. Let me know when you've made a note of it, and then I'll delete it from the chat because I don't want to get spammed by ad bots that want to sell me car insurance or whatever. So this guy's situation here. Okay. Let's give him a nose. I'm not sure if I want him to have a nose is the thing. I might just give him a hole. So it's going to take a while to get the proportions right on this guy because this is such a specific concept. Okay, and again, if you're not good with sort of creepy or ugly or unsettling things, now is a good time to check out, because things are going to get kind of ugly here for a little while. So his bottom jaw part is too big, so let's go ahead and fix that now. We're going to just grab that and bring that in a little bit. Horror games are not my strong suit. Yeah, you know, it's okay if you want to tune out for this part. Totally okay. This is this guy's situation. I gotta put teeth in there as well. He's gonna have human teeth. Okay, so use the scale tool. It's gonna have like a big smile, a big smile. Well, Okay, and this is a character called the Gentleman. So that's this guy's situation. So this is a cryptid. Got to bring that in just a little more as well. Oops, okay. So I need to consider the nose situation, because I originally didn't really want him to have a nose so much, because you run the risk of it looking adorable. So I'm just going to try and give him a nose, and we'll see what happens here. If it comes to a real point, I think that would be appropriate. Let's give him a strong nose ridge, like that. I'm okay with that. What do you guys think of that? Oops, we don't want it sort of bulging at the end. That kind of makes it cute. Okay, let's just kill the wireframe for now. It's got to have teeth in there as well. You got it? Okay. He guesses the character you're designing next. Maybe it's going to be a duck or a bird type. I always like bird humanoid characters. I think they're always really cool. But I gotta get one of the defining traits on this guy right now before I go any further. Okay. But first, I gotta get the shape just right here. So he has a hat, but it's made out of flesh. And I want it to sort of be attached to his body, so it's actually part of his flesh. So I'm going to do that now. He has a flesh hat, but it's part of his body. So let's go ahead and get that in. Oops. Got to be careful with that middle section. I'm going to have to fix that before I go too much farther. Okay. Yep, that's looking okay. So this is a flesh hat. That's just part of his body. I gotta fix that. Gotta be menacing long boy. Yep, he's pretty long, all right. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Smooth in and reduce. Oops, I did a fair bit of messing up there. Come on, come on, come on. All right, we fixed it. Let's go ahead and grab. Cool, 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 cool. So we want to extend that out more. I'll just use the grab tool for a while. Okay. Okay, and we will fix that. We'll crease that up there and we'll fix it. I'll do that now because it's looking a little goofy. Crease. Okay, I'm getting a little too involved here. Super Smash, you sent your voice work. Okay, I'll check the Discord. I've had a lot of things to process and look at, so if I've missed it, yeah, just send another DM and let me know. Thank you. Increase the strength on that. Okay, and then draw our top hat here. Guys, what is the point of a top hat? Like, why is it so big? Why does it have to be so tall? It's like a status symbol, like, oh, behold, my top hat. And is there a bottom hat? I mean, what's the deal with that? This is my stand-up comedy routine. I'm just using you guys to test it out. Behold my top hat. Let's go ahead and crease those edges. And we're gonna get like veins and muscularity on there as well. Okay. And later on, I might put this guy in engine just to see what he'll look like, and I'll show you what he looks like in engine. So overall, I need the scale of the head to be smaller now. So overall, we'll scale it down so that the body has more presence. Something, a little something like that. Okay. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and just get a little bit more detail on the body. So here's what I'm considering. Do I sculpt... He's supposed to have like a flesh coat, right? Do I build that into his body, or do I have a separate mesh for that? And I think it's going to be more gross if it's built into his body. So I'm going to sculpt his coat into his body here. Okay. Then I can just concentrate on making it vascular and veiny. Okay. So we're going to do that now. So what we're going to do is now give him some form. I'll just say this as a backup, you know, get on the S2 here. The ambiance for my game sections motivate me to finish developing the game. Yeah, you know, hearing your music that you're using for your game, you know, that tends to be a really good motivator to keep you on track. And you get to hear, you know, you get to enjoy the vibe of the game and hear it. So that is a big deal, you know, having your music for your game ready. I think it does really help encourage you to work on your game more and stay on track and keep working on it. It's like a deep Adam's apple. Okay, so he's going to have his flesh coat built in, which means he needs a high collar now. So let's go ahead and give him a high collar. What I should do is start with the rear first, like that. So this will be the collar that's built into his body. Okay, this is certainly a design decision. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really working out. This is how I envisioned it, all right. This is how I envisioned this character. Yeah, this is gonna work. I can see it. I can see it now. Let's see. Huh. I think it's like a man purse. What's a man? I'm not sure what Brennan is referring to. One day I would also wish someone made Everything Everywhere All at Once, the video game. Oh, that movie was great! Wow! Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. What a cool movie. So I want skin flaps. I don't want skin flaps. I mean, the character's going to have skin flaps. So let's get some skin flaps here. Oh, what am I doing? The coat has to be open. His flesh coat is open. And I'm worried this is going to make it difficult for Mixamo to handle, to process. But if that's what happens, then man, that's what happens. Too bad. Okay, so now we are making, this is the boundary from which the flesh coat will extend downward. Okay, great. Great. This is looking okay. Let me grab, I want to open up this chest. Oh, shoot fire, look at that. That really messed up. So let's just get a little bit of detail in here, in his body now. I want to express a sense of like ribs or something, you know? Something like that. Yeah, just to give us a sense of boniness, why don't we? You know? We want our clavicle area. So we're gonna have to do a lot of work here. Okay. I'm going to use my crease tool now and just start creasing that. And this is just going to be I'm trying to make the most grotesque, uncomfortable creature design, just viscerally, you know. His flesh turns into a coat, you know. So let's just take a step back. Let's have a quick look, really quick, at what he looks like so far. His head is too big still. His head is way too big. It needs to be smaller. And his hands need to be scaled down as well. So let's take a step back and go ahead and scale down our hands. Oops. Scale. Okay, and his head is still too big, so let's go ahead and shrink that down. We're going to want to make the neck smaller as well. Okay, let's take a step back, have a look at our proportions. Okay, those proportions are pretty good. Yeah, I'm alright with those proportions. We got to get this flesh coat. Okay, so I'll work on the flesh coat, and then I'll get the musculature on the arms. Okay, great. Let's do it. Let's do it. I was referring to your top hat joke. All right. I'm falling a little bit behind on the chat now because this is the part that does actually require a significant amount of concentration and effort on my part. So this is what's tough to balance with live streaming. Is work like this is quite intensive, especially when you're using your conceptual part of your brain. You really need to focus on it. God, Maya will not know how to handle what I'm asking of it. I mean, not Maya, Miximo. I know that Miximo's not going to have any idea. So I'm going to have to do a fair amount of manual work when it comes to rigging this. I'm going to have to do some manual rigging here. I better fix that as well. We're having some issues here. Let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, and reduce. Okay, great. We're doing okay so far. We're doing okay. I'm just going to reduce inside while I still can, because I know that I don't need the poly count to be as high on the inside. I kind of had an idea for this creature, right? So this horror creature is called the Gentleman, and I kind of had this idea that he sort of chases you around, and his sort of shtick is that he's a gentleman, and so anything that involves manners, like he has to adhere to manners, and that's how he functions. And also, like, if you put an antique in front of him, he has to stop and appraise it, and he has to give an appraisal. So part of the gameplay is you're constantly finding stuff to throw in front of him to slow him down, and he'll have to appraise it, and that's how you slow him down. I'm getting pinch in there already. Oh man, it's annoying working on that section. I'll fix that. Oh, oh, that is not nice to look at. Okay. We need to extend this until it's below the legs. Okay. Yeah, this is, you know what? I think this design is going to work out. What do you guys think? What do you think of this gross design so far? I might use the grab tool for a while, actually, just to sort of even out this process. Oh, oh. Okay, I see where I'm going. Y'all ever heard of the hidden gem Celeste? Not a lot of folks have heard of it. I think that's sarcasm. I think you're being sarcastic. Celeste is really fun. It has great controls. I haven't played it, but I have seen Celeste, and it just looks so cool. It looks really fantastic. Okay, we'll smoothen that out. Some smoothing on up in there. Some smoothing on. Reduce. And we... Here's the reduce there. Oh god, that's so gross looking. Does anyone here watch Meat Canyon? Papa Meat? I'm starting to now, having worked on this, I'm starting to feel like this is something that Papa Meat might like in terms of just something visual to look at, you know. I really enjoy Papa Meat's videos, Meat Canyon stuff. Just so creative and interesting, you know. But it can be quite gross. I have made the mistake a couple times of putting on a Meat Canyon video while I'm having something to eat, and I just don't even think about it because I'll leave YouTube, you know, running and whatnot while I'm doing other things while I get something to eat, and I have made the mistake of putting on a Papa Meat video while eating, and that's not something you should do ever. Okay, I need the coat to be just a little bit longer, but I'm pretty happy. This is turning out. I'm never really sure entirely how a design is going to turn out, you know? I got something making weird noises, and I don't recognize what those sounds are in terms of beeping. I don't know what that is. Will the flesh appraiser have an English accent? Well, I don't know yet. Here's the thing. It depends. Like I'm gonna do the voicing myself, and I'm gonna have to do some test runs to see what sounds creepy, because there's a chance that the English accent will just make him sound less scary. So we'll have to see. We will see once I start doing recording. I'll do some test runs, and if it isn't scary, I'm just gonna do a standard, a transatlantic, sort of like a radio voice sort of a vibe, you know, something hopefully kind of neutral. Hello, we're a little too close to his feet. Okay. So just want to make sure this is low enough. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with the drape of this coat. I want to make sure it's nice and fleshy. Oops, let's not have that happen. Okay, let's go ahead and start working on the body now. I think this is good for now. I can work on this just a little bit more later. But oh wow, what do you guys think of? What do you think of that? Oh, I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's go ahead and just make some adjustments here. Babe Lincoln. For some reason, I get an English accent feel with the top hat proper and such. He could. I might try that and see. We'll see. Okay. So I want to have some vascularity in the design as well to make it obvious that the coat is part of his body. So let me start. I'm going to start like that and then work my way down to the coat and have like veins and muscles as part of the flesh coat. Okay, here we go. We're doing it. Okay, let's get our muscles. I'm going to reduce the strength of that now. Okay. The soundtrack for Celeste is amazing. I'll have to look it up. So Pico 8. Do you guys know of Pico 8? I think I've heard of people there's a version of Celeste for Pico 8. I think I have heard that. And Pico 8 is something that I did want to look into. It looks interesting to me. Does anyone here play Pico 8? Alright. Cool. We're feeling cool, man. I'm feeling good about this design. Yeah, get some vascularity in there. Let's do one of these. Like a connecting vein. How about that? Okay. Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm feeling good about that design. Let's do one of these, like a connecting vein again. If we have a couple of these here, it will look more organic. So that's nice. We're gonna go ham on this guy here and just nice and veiny. Nice and veiny. There we go. We will have to do some work on the inside as well. So that looks kind of lumpy and meaty. Size of the brush here. Okay, I will even this out a little bit. We want to flare out a little. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, let's get just a little bit more veininess here. I've gone really quiet now because I'm concentrating. Oops, sorry guys. Okay, I'm gonna do some detail work, but I want it to look like a thick, fat fold of skin. You know what I mean? Ugh. Considering the angles that you'll be viewing this guy at, I'm just going to add some detail to make it interesting. There we go. So when you look in there, when you look inside of his flesh pocket, it's interesting. You know, you got to have interesting geometry inside your flesh pockets. This now makes me want to have a collab with Meat Canyon, Papa Meat. I've never really wanted to collab with anyone, but having done a horror thing like this, I would really like to do a collab with Papa Meat. Let's go ahead and hide the wireframe for now. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the shoulder area a little bit. Maybe we'll give him some like, shoulder pads. Not Pico 8 is cool. Oh, you tried it? A Pico 8 does seem cool, but have not got around to it yet. I think we need to purchase a license to either create or play the game. I'm not sure. I think it's like $8 maybe. I don't know, but I do want to work in Peak 08. I just haven't had a reason yet. Oh, but you know what would be a good reason is I said that I'm doing Galaxy Drifter for as many different platforms as possible. So maybe we could do a Peak 08 version of Galaxy Drifter, and that would be fun. Okay, we'll just want to exaggerate our shoulders a little bit here. There's just like, if I just get the details just right, I think I can get it to look really fantastic. But again, this is the kind of thing where it's like every design decision has to be just right, or it's going to fall apart, you know what I mean? So let's get nice and thick. You want it to look like flesh, you know, you want veins and tendons, and you want it to look like blood is flowing through this thing. That's what makes it interesting. Blood flow is what makes life interesting, as I always say. Blood flow. This is fun. This feels like I'm drawing a pop-up character. Like a big Adam's apple too. Okay, I'll do the arms, then I'll get to the torso and the legs, and we're mostly done. Brennan, IDK, I downloaded the engine from a different website. Now it's starting to look a lot better, but I know art design takes time. Oh yeah, absolutely. You just got to work on one aspect at a time. And the way that I'm working on it is, you know, it's way too fast, you know. In general, like so much more planning you know, goes into these designs. But I've been considering this design for months, you know, just conceptually, so that this is a process that I call this process concept on canvas, where I just create the concept on the canvas here with no planning or anything. Like I don't do any draft sketches, and that's because I sort of consider the design ahead of time, and so I don't need to do draft sketches or anything like that. My computer's starting to chug, so I think I will have to start a round of polygonal reduction here, as my computer is chugging. So here's what I'll do. I can do this arm. We want to give him some sleeves, right? Let's give him some sleeves. And then I'll use the crease tool for his sleeves. And there we go. Okay. I kind of want it to look like the muscles and the tendons are sort of twisting around his arm a little bit. So we're going to give it a little bit of that. Yeah. Boy howdy, I'm going to have to reduce this now. My computer's starting to really chuck here. Let me see what poly count we're at. We are at 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to get like 1.2 million triangles right now. So we are going to have to cut that down now. Hey, Shiny Samurott, good to see ya. Thanks for coming to hang out. We finished 2 designs for Galaxy Drifter. We got 2 aliens done, and now I'm doing a creature for a horror game that I'm doing, just a small little first-person horror game that I'm working on. So this is a cryptid called the Gentleman, and his whole shtick is that he chases you around, but he has to have good manners. So if there's a situation where he has to have good manners, he has to abide by that. And also, if you put an antique in front of him, he has to stop and appraise it. And so how you sort of deal with him in the game is you just need to find antiques and you need to put it in front of him to stop him. And that's the only way you can stop him, only temporarily, is by giving him something to appraise, some sort of antique to appraise. Ooh, hold on here. Okay, now my computer's going to explode, so I'm going to start reducing here just for a little while here. Okay, and then I'll get caught up. Interesting concept. So yeah, the game it's not like a big, thing. It's just a small, fun little horror game that can I'm gonna put it on Steam. I'll put it on the Switch and VCS, whatever platforms. But also, I thought if people enjoy the game and the concept of the Gentleman and they like the gameplay, I can do versions for the legacy platforms as well. Things like the DS and the PSP, I can make games for that very quickly. So I can do a PSP and DS version. I can do a Game Boy version. I'm setting up a development environment. I'm going to start developing links. Oh guys, I ordered a flash cart for the links. And that should be arriving this week, probably tomorrow. I might get my links flash cart tomorrow. So Galaxy Drifter, of course, will get a version on links. And I'm doing for other versions. Like I can develop stuff for the Saturn pretty easily because of the Joe engine, which was created by Johannes Fetz. And he created the Joe engine. So Saturn stuff, I can make a Saturn version of Galaxy Drifter, but also this horror game. I can put it on the Saturn. And of course the Dreamcast has that Dream as the development environment, the SDK. So I can put stuff on Dreamcast fairly easy. There's LibDragon for the N64. So that's a homebrew, open source homebrew solution for that. So I will start making N64 stuff. So I do want to make a version of Galaxy Drifter for the N64 as well. And if people just enjoy Beware the Gentleman, which is this guy, then I'll make versions for all those platforms as well. Because it would just be fun. It would just be fun to make them for the old platforms, and it's good exercise for me as a developer as well. It's important to really just make sure you don't stagnate as a developer. And making more horror games for old consoles is cool. It's fun, because we didn't necessarily, the kind of horror that we see now is just a bit more intense and extreme than what we got when those consoles were current. Because of the rating systems and how the industry, needed to focus on marketability. So these days we get very experimental, weird horror games, and I would like to bring those to older platforms that would just be fun and interesting. And also this concept, because you're not directly, you can't fight this guy, you just can't. You cannot stop him, he's unstoppable. But you can give him antiques to appraise. And here's the thing, the more valuable the antique is, the longer it'll take for him to appraise, which means you have more time to escape. And I'm in the game, I'm sort of considering, should I make it towards a random objective each time you play, so you know you have to collect different items or find something in particular. So that way it just mixes up the gameplay a little bit, so you can play it multiple times and it won't get stale. That's something that I've considered. So I'm finishing Galaxy Drifter first, and then I'm working on my other games. This is just a background thing. Like, this isn't in super active development. It's when I need to take a break from my more serious work. I'll work on a project like this where I can just catch my breath a little bit. It's more relaxing to work on something like this, What are we at? 550,000, 500,000 triangles. Still a lot of triangles. I might, yeah, I'm gonna have to reduce it just a bit more, and then I will finish my torso and legs, and we can rig him up. Don't go to sleep. Yes, I would love to see you do your own Pico 8 version. I think it's really cool. I really like the idea. I like the concept of the Pico 8. It's just a great. It's great for the spirit of gaming, Also, there's that new Ambernick device. I say new, but it's like 4 months old or whatever. And it's got a perfectly square screen, and apparently that's great for Pico 8. So I'd really like to make games on Pico 8, and maybe it's an excuse for me to grab one of those consoles. I already have a bunch of handheld emulator consoles. I don't really want more. All right, we're at 224,000. Great. My hands are good enough. I might make my hands. I can make my hands smaller and my fingers longer. I think that would be creepy. Okay, let's get some work done on my torso. I'll just reduce things just a little bit more here. Oh, you know what? We need vascularity on the hat as well. And again, he will have teeth. Alright, let's take the wireframe off and just have a look at our fella here. Okay, what do you guys think of this so far? Let's just change up our material. Oh, this looks fleshy. How about that? What do you guys think of that? So you basically do your sketches mentally. Yeah, I do all my concept sketches mentally, I consider it, and then I do concept on canvas, where my concept goes directly to the canvas, and that's the final version. That's what it is. Seeing games made for old consoles is always really cool. Nice to see what people do with limitations as well. It's important to do that as a developer, because you push yourself creatively, and you can't rely on all the modern tools that make it easy. The easier something is to do, the worse you're going to be at it, and that's just how it is. And so I need to make sure that I don't ever just rely on modern technology to do, in terms of making a game interesting, making it attractive in some way. If you keep relying on the tools like, oh wow, the graphics are really cool looking, you're going to lose the ability to make something interesting, to conceive of something interesting, Okay. So we're just going to get this torso, and then we'll rig this guy up. We'll see how well. I don't know what the eyes switch. Let's get some detail up in here. Now, ooh, you know what would be good? Is if we had the coat connected to his body here. Yeah, that's what I want. I want it obvious that the coat is connected to his body, so we'll do it like this. little muscular nodule there. So we need to be careful with this area here. We could end up ruining that really quickly. I'm trying to work quickly here as well. Oops. Yep, there we go. Go ahead and smoothen that out a little bit. And then reduce brush. Oh yeah, nice. Yep, there we go. That makes it quite obvious that it is attached to the body, which is what we want. We'll do a little bit more like that. Another connective tissue there. Connect there. Connect there. Ooh, connect like that as well. There we go, nice and chunky. And now, how do we got to get this area to look really gross here. This area is important. So it's got to have a little bit of a belly, right? That's going to be a little. You gotta have, how do you make him gaunt and have like a little, like a sick pouch, you know? A gaunt, sick-looking pouch. Man, this is a conceptually a difficult design, you know. There's so many different elements that have to work together, and you're expressing a concept that it's just weird. It's a weird concept, and you have to visually make everything clear immediately, you know. So it's a difficult concept to really execute on. And now that I'm doing it, I'm just realizing, like, this is not. This probably is a design that I should not have done on live stream because it's so. Demands my attention. It really requires me to really think about what I'm doing here and make some good design decisions. This has to look gross. Can you guys see this all right? Is that clear enough? This is just like a indeterminate flesh pouch, you know? It's just a pouch of flesh. It's no big deal. It's nothing. Don't pay attention to that. Just a flesh pouch. This is basically nothing. No big deal. Don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. Something like that. Okay. It's nothing. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. It's just a flesh pouch. Okay. All right. We're looking all right. We're looking good. We're gonna work on it. Now all we need is our legs, and then we're good. I think we just finish up the legs. Then we'll optimize it, and then we'll get some. Looks so wacky right now, but wait till he sets them. Anyone ever see that episode of Seinfeld where George dates that who looks like Jerry? No, I don't know what episode you're talking about. I'll put him. Okay, after the stream, I'll put him in engine, and then we'll have a look at what he looks like in engine, and then we'll get the effect. We'll see whether he works or not, and if I have to make any further adjustments. So that'll be the real test. I'll put him in engine, because you don't really know what anything looks like until it's in engine with the texturing and the lighting. Okay, let me just get my legs. I just got to get my legs to look a little fleshy, and then I think we're good. Okay. Just got a little bit of vascularity in the legs. You're not going to see his butt because he has a coat, so I mean there's no point in me doing too much work in there. Curses. His foot got in the way. We just need a shape for the knee. What if I did a sculpt where I made direct eye contact with the web camera the whole time to make sure I'm paying attention to you guys, and I did a whole sculpt like that, and we'll see what I end up with. Oh God! Oh God! Why does it look like that? Oh. Okay. Let's get some chunky knees. Maybe he has a little bit of that, like Torgo from Nanos, the End of Fate. You know, his knees were like really small. Only me and Shiny are in the chat now. Still won't play my game with me. That's not what my channel's about. I don't really play games on my channel. I'll check it out after the stream here. I've got my stuff that I've got to focus on here. Not a problem. But yeah, reach out to other people, especially because again, I'm not a content creator. I'm just a normal guy, and I'm doing my job, and I'm just sharing my work with you guys. But there are people who do focus on playing games, and you know they'll be able to give you feedback on that, and they can sort of share your games to their audience. Like I don't have an audience that's here to watch me play games, you know. All right, here we go. And we're going to have to slenderize these legs because they're getting a little chunky, so I will slenderize them. Here we go. So we just need a little bit more flow in his legs here. So what we're going to do is just make this knee area flow better, and then we're going to slenderize the bottom portion of his legs. Okay, here we go. And again, this is for a horror game. If you're just checking in and you have no idea what's happening, this is a character, a cryptid called the Gentleman, for a horror game that I'm working on. Ugh, look at these muscle flaps. Blech. I'm getting close to 1 million polygons again. Okay, so we're going to use the scale tool, and we'll just... Wow, man, why did it do that? Thin down the legs a little bit. Oh, man! That's gross looking. Alright, now all that's left is the feet. Let's just make it shoes. We're just going to make it shoes. What about shoes with toes in them? Okay, we'll fix that up. We'll go like that. We're just going to do this really quickly. Yeah, I chill in here to watch you make games while I work on my own projects. That's awesome. And you know, like, I like hearing you guys working on your games. I like to hear about it. It's really cool. I like to hear about your process, you know, and what you're doing to make your games and the stuff that you're excited about. I'd like to hear about that. Because if you are working on your making games, it's brutally hard work, and it can be really disheartening as well when you try to tell people about it and people, you know, have so many other things to look at and to pay attention to. But you just got to keep trying. You got to keep looking. You know, you'll find, you know, people to share your games with. And I don't get to play games that much because I work on my stuff for so long, and just brutally long hours, that even stuff that I really want to play, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I haven't played at all. All of the Resident Evil remakes, the 2 and 3 and all that, I haven't got to play them, which is really unfortunate. Those were some of my favorite games while growing up. So I'm not a big foot guy, is the thing. So I don't really want to spend that much time on the feet. Right. Oh, I said I was going to make it like a shoe. I'll make it like a boot, but the boot's going to have toes in it. All right, here we go. I stepped away for a bit. What did I miss? He's looking so gnarly. We're almost done. We're just going to finish the feet, and we're going to optimize it, and then we're going to rig him up, and we'll see what he looks like in animations. I do know that I want to make the hands just a little smaller and the feet longer, and I think that's it. But this is the whole sculpt. Oh, I'm really proud of this, you guys. I am really proud of this design. I need to add vascularity to the hat as well to make it obvious that it is flesh. Oh, I'll do some texturing as well, so we can have a look at the texturing and we can see what he looks like with some flesh texture. I'll just use my database for Silver Falls, since I've created a number of flesh materials that I can use. Okay. So Shiny Samurott, what sort of game are you working on? Okay, so we need something, you know, we need some details here to make it look like they are shoes. Yeah, like a penny loafer sort of situation. So we're gonna do this. Oh, ugh. I even feel gross. I even feel gross. So of course you get your shape first, your rough shapes, and then you add your form afterward. Let me know if the music's ever too loud or maybe if it's too quiet. Just let me know, because I'm using a different setup right now and I can't tell what's going on with the music. I can't hear it. because I'm using my lapel mic as well that actually occupies my... stop. Wait, this is Windows. I shouldn't have to do that. If I click on this, open volume mixer. Output. No, it won't let me change it. Ah, that's annoying. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I thought Windows was better than it actually was. That's alright. Okay. We need these flesh shoes to look, you know, more like they're part of a shoe, you know? This is looking so gross. Oh, God. Ugh. Ugh. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Alright, and now let's have a couple... They're not sticking out of the shoe because he's not wearing shoes. He's all flesh. So we're just going to go like this. But you know, it's got to have like a gnarliness to it. So it's got to curve up and then down. So we're gonna go up and long. That's generally a shortcut to creepiness, is long and slender. That's just how it is. You know, that's culturally, that's what we're conditioned for. So if we see something like that, that's already. Let's get another one in there. Okay, what do you guys think of that toe? I'll work on the scale. I think it's a little too big, so I need to dial down the scale a little bit. I think a third toe will be good as well, just out the side. You know what? If this one just goes like just off at a tangent. Oops. I'm not working on a game, just stuff for my channel. Oh, that's good. It's funny being on this end. Like, I'm not a content creator, I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm usually just watching other people's stuff while I work. I listen to people's YouTube channels and watch stuff, and it's kind of funny hearing people say that they're on the other end and they're listening, you know, to what I'm doing. It's just kind of funny to me because I'm not a content creator and I'm not setting out to be, but unfortunately, like, I say that, but whether I like it or not, what I'm doing right now is producing content for you guys to watch. So I have to accept that. You can live in a fantasy world all you want, you know. You can tell yourself whatever sweet little lies you like, but at the end of the day, there is a portion of reality that doesn't always line up with what you want to believe and what you want to think. And I say that I'm not a content creator, but right now I'm making content for you guys. I'm just gonna have to accept that, you know. I will accept it, but I'll say that I'm only accidentally making content. I'm not making content on purpose. There. Okay, and let's have a look at how we're... Oh God, I hate that it's so lumpy. Oh, I hate that. Let's get a little bit of vascularity and just veins and stuff in there. And we'll paint it with flesh, and then we'll animate it. Oh, this design, boy. Why did I do it like this? We've got to get some knuckles in there as well. Okay. Oh man, why did I do it like that? Let's kill the wire thing for now. Hey guys, oh man, I'm feeling pretty happy about this design, honestly. Great. This is basically what I envisioned in my mind. So this is the gentleman. I want this area to be a little smoother here. I think it's just a little too detailed. Edward, it is really cool to see your process in real time and your thoughts while you work. It's fun being able to share that with you guys, because normally I'm just talking to myself, which that sounds really sad. You know, I'm working and I'm sitting and I talk to myself, like for as part of the creative process. You know, you make your mental notes and you talk about, you know, the various aspects. But it's more fun being able to hang out with you guys and talk with you guys about stuff. It's true, not all content is equal though, and it's not like you're a streamer or anything. Yeah, you're right, you know, because some people set out to create content, and that is a totally different endeavor. Like what I'm doing right now is I'm just working, and then I'm hanging out with you guys. If I worked for someone else, I wouldn't be allowed to do this, but I work for myself, so I can do what I want. I'm my own boss, which means that this is my normal work day, but now I can hang out with you guys and chat. We can just talk about whatever. Yeah, so really I'm just sharing my work day with you guys, which is way cooler than just working in silence. Wrinkly flesh suit man, you got it. Yeah, I tend to think out loud too. It's funny, I think scientists have sort of pinpointed that does actually help you process information if you say things out loud. That does actually have a positive effect on your process and your work. So, yeah. Okay, so right now we're optimizing. I am at 734,000 triangles. So I'm going to get it to a reasonably, like if I want to do a high definition render, I'll get it to that point. And then I will do an optimized version for an in-game render. Oops, I forgot. We're going to have to add some vascularity to the hat. The Hyatt, if you will. And you know, like I'm not setting out to be entertaining, you know. And I think that's the real difference between a content creator and a streamer, is they're actively setting out to entertain you guys. And that is its own whole set of skills. It's its own whole objective. That means the entirety of your attention and your effort is spent entertaining you guys. And that's why I say I'm not a content creator, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just working, and my objective is to hang out with you guys. Right now I'm hanging out with you guys. And that's my objective. And that's why I say I'm not a content creator. Okay, here we go. So to handle the stream, to run OBS, I'm actually using a GPD Win Max. I actually can't show you guys because I don't want to risk messing up one of the cables. But it's a really cool machine. I think it's an 8 or 9 inch screen, anodized aluminum for the chassis. It has like 9 or 10 hours of battery life. It's so great. So it's this small compact machine. If I pick it up, I might ruin the stream. I'll try it later. But if I go somewhere, like if I take a long trip, I'll take that machine because it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's lightweight, and it's plenty strong enough to run my development tools. So I'll do game development on that. Sometimes I like to, you know, when sales have been very good, I'll rent a cabin out by the ocean for a couple days just to catch my breath. I like to sit out at the ocean and listen to the waves while I watch the stars, and I'll sit there and I'll do work, sitting, you know, on the front deck of a cabin watching the ocean. And I don't do that very often. It's only if sales have been really, really good, you know. But it's just a way to get away from the city and sort of refresh a little bit and relax. And it's weird because I say relax, but then I take my work with me. Yeah. Okay, I'm at 312,000 and counting. Okay, we can reduce those a little bit. I'm curious, just in the chat, who has Paramount Plus? Because I would really like to watch South Park, but I don't have a Paramount Plus thing. I don't even know if that would be worth the money. Does anyone here, I'm curious, in the chat, have a Paramount Plus subscription? What is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, and you know what? If it's fun for you guys, I'll keep doing these things. It's fun to hang out with you guys anyway. It doesn't really matter to me. So here's what I want. I want the brim of the hat to be kind of fleshy and thick and fat along the edges. So I'll go ahead and make it a little fleshy. And I'm going to wrap up the stream pretty soon because I'm going to need something to eat here. I'm going to need lunch pretty soon. So I'm just going to optimize this very quickly now. I'll put a little bit of a fleshy texture on it, and then we'll rig him up, and we can see what he looks like rigged up, and then we'll call it a day. So I didn't realize how late it was, so I'll do that now. So let's get a nice fleshy brim, like that, nice and fleshy. Ah, curses. Nice and thick. Nice, thick, fleshy brim. Good. This is, see, working on this is like, now I've never really wanted to collab with anyone, but now I really want to collab with Meat Canyon, because I really like their character designs, their visual storytelling. It's so creative and so fun. Having done this, I really would like to do something with Meat Canyon. Just get a little bit of vascularity in there. Make it clear that this is part of his body. Okay, now I'll just put a little bit of a flesh texture on him. Yeah. Yes. But we still need to maintain the shape of the top hat, so I'm going to have to do just a little bit of work here to maintain the shape, you know, the overall profile and silhouette. You don't want to compromise your integrity of your form here. Great. Great. I might thin out the edges. I actually don't like the edges now. They're too chunky and I don't like it. So we're just going to go ahead and shrink those down. We'll get a little bit of texture on them. I'll have to come back and work on that portion a little bit. I made it too chunky at the end and I don't really like it that much. The flesh is strong with this one. You don't. Just Disney Plus and Netflix. See, those are like the big two, right? Like that's got, you know, if I were to get anything, you know, I would probably get a Netflix. I don't have a Netflix. But it's like, oh, but Paramount Plus has South Park, but that's the only thing I would watch on Paramount Plus. The PSP mashup was really cool. Yeah, I need to finish Galaxy Drifter first, and then I'll finish the mashup for the PSP. And it was fun. You know, that was so much fun doing that with you guys. So I will finish that and launch that on the PSP, and you can all just play it for free. Okay, so let me go ahead and just optimize this really quickly. I'll very quickly put a little bit of flesh texture on him and we'll animate him, and I think we'll call it, as I didn't realize how late it was. Okay. We're at 300,000. This is fine, I think. We're going to save it as S3R, and I'm just going to reduce it a bunch. Just so we can get it into the Miximo. We're at 160,000. We'll reduce it. We're going to paint it now. Great. Okay. And if we just wait a second, that will finish setting that up. Great. All right, so no one in the comments has Paramount Plus. I've never met anyone that has Paramount Plus, but I would like to watch South Park, you know? And it's funny when South Park mentions being in Paramount Plus, they sort of they say it tongue-in-cheek. I thought they were joking when they first announced it, and I think that's what's really funny is they're always like, yeah, we're on Paramount Plus, yeah. And I think that's just great. I think it's hilarious. Okay, this will be done any second. Any second now. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our textures here. I will add a set. I'll go to my my database that I create for my Silver Falls stuff, and I'll just use some Silver Falls textures here. Okay, so we're going to chuck this on really fast. Just give him a little flesh. Strength. Just so we have something to look at, you know? Some flesh in there. Oh, God, look at those feet. Ugh. Can you guys see this all right? Is that coming through okay? Oh, we need to turn off symmetry as well. Symmetry tends to look pretty bland. Okay. I wonder, I really hope the camera is showing this all right. I hope you guys can see this okay. Yeah, look at the flesh on that coat. I think the Halo show is on Paramount Plus. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, okay. There's two good things to have for Paramount Plus. And okay, this is what's weird to me, right? Like, I find South Park really soothing to listen to. Just like the cadence of the dialogue, the voices, the music. Not the early, like the first two. No, I'd say the first 3 seasons I don't really like. Like I tried, you know, like watching them is not that interesting to me. But anything after that, I just really enjoy. And something about the sound of South Park is just really soothing and relaxing. I don't know what it is. You know, I can't really put my finger on it. Let's go ahead and get some bloody bits here as well. And I want the coat to stand out in some way. So what if the inside of the body was more red? Yeah, there we go. There we go. What do you guys think of this friend? And can you see him all right on the camera in the stream? Oh, gee, that's upsetting to look at, isn't it? Guys, we did it. I'm pretty happy with this design. What do you think of that? Yes! Yes! It looks very friendly. It looks good. Thanks. Okay. There's a couple spots that I missed, but you know, this is just a quick draft. I'll come back later and paint it more carefully later on. Okay. And let's just get a little bit more to help things stand out here. We're going to go like this. Just a lighter color now. And we're going to use that just to accent certain parts. So the brim, I want to look extra fleshy. Oh, gee whiz. Okay. The collar, I want the collar to really pop as well. So let's get some extra flesh going on in there. There we go. Oh yeah, that really helps it. That really helps it pop visually, doesn't it? Maybe along the edge of the coat, like that, helps it to really pop. Maybe the inside of the coat to really help it pop visually. Okay, guys. Oh, I'm so pleased with that. I am so pleased with how that turned out. There we go. Have a good look at him. And I'll put teeth in there. He will need to have teeth. Let's see here. So, oh, one small detail. Actually, it doesn't even matter. You know, I'm gonna paint the insides of the eyes like that, just so you get a full effect of what that's gonna look like, and the inside of the mouth. But once he has his teeth as well, it's gonna be different once he has his teeth. What do you guys think? Oh, that looking something for him to appraise already. Soothing is not how I would describe South Park. I think I get what you mean, but their voice is great on me personally. Yeah, you know, and it's meant to be like that. You know, I think it is meant to sort of be like that. So that's why I think it's weird. I don't understand why I find South Park soothing. I don't get it. But I do. Okay, so... Gentlemen. I'll just say one. Okay. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and stick this guy into Mixamo, and we'll see him rigged up. So this is going to be very fun. We've got our lizard from earlier. Okay, upload character. Let me just adjust. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream in a couple minutes. We're just going to briefly do this. See what he looks like all rigged up. So thanks so much for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun just sort of hanging out and chatting with you guys, just talking about whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to grab some lunch. After the stream, I'm going to finish all of the character graphics for Galaxy Drifter. And then if you have sent a voice clip and you haven't heard back from me yet, I'll get to it later today. I just have to process everyone's submissions for the voices. So. I'm pretty amped. I'm pretty amped about this. Put this monster in the blender. And later, in a couple hours, I will post a photo. I'll put this guy in engine, and you can see what he looks like in the game that he's going to be in. It's called Beware the Gentleman. So, start looking for those antiques, you guys. And in the game, it's going to be you get to carry. You have two hands. You can hold an item in your left hand and right hand, and so you can have two antiques, or you know, whatever. I want Beware the Gentleman. The objects. Like almost object, I want to be interactable, that you'll be able to sort of pick up and throw. And of course, you want to hang on for the antiques to throw at the gentleman. I hope this poly count isn't too high. For anyone that missed it, this is our end product. This is the cryptid, known as the gentleman. I'm going to work on the brim a little more. I made it fleshy, and I realized I don't really like it puffy at the edges, so I'm going to go back and change that. And then... yeah, we'll work on the paint a little bit more. Oh man, look at his feet. Ugh. These were good decisions, you guys. All right, and let's hope that Mixamo can handle the flesh suit. Okay. So yeah. Wait, Beware the Gentleman is a different game from Galaxy Drifter entirely? Yes, yes. Like I said, I'm always working on many games. And that's... part of it is because I have a really high output of concepts, and if that creativity doesn't go somewhere, my brain's going to explode. Also, it helps prevent burnout. When you keep working on one project non-stop, continuously, day after day, you get project burnout, and then you lose interest in that project. So working on multiple projects allows me to prevent burnout. I can detect when I'm about to start feeling burnout for a project, and then I'll just switch over to another project, work on that for 2 days, and then I can go back to the previous project feeling quite refreshed about it. All right, let's hope Mixamo can handle this without any problems. I'm so excited for this design. I feel like it's something Papa Meat would like as well. I can't wait to see what they look like in the game soon. And good luck. I'm wishing you the best. I appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for commenting on the post. I always like hearing from you guys. So, all right. Well, I hope you all have a good rest of your day or evening. Have a great time. I'll wrap up here as soon as we get to see this guy rigged up and running. It's almost done. It should be. Hopefully, you can figure out, because the body coat is really going to throw off the Mixamo rigger. I might have to rig this myself, because of the weird shape. It's struggling with it a little. Come on. Come on, Mixamo, you can do it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Give us the good word. This is it, everyone. Hey! Oh! Check it out, everyone. We got it. We got him, everyone. We got him. Now imagine this guy just clomping through the woods, hunting you down. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Let's have a look. He's doing a dance. Let's give him a walk cycle. We did it, everyone. We got him. It works. Sick. IDK, if you answered earlier, but are those Legos behind you? Oh, behind me? No. I have... There's some Skylanders there. There's Amiibo up top, and then a bunch of, like, weird, like, gimmick legacy controllers, game controllers. Okay. This is our guy. This is the gentleman. So he's going to be a very tall man. And again, it's a little choppy because this is a very old computer and the Miximo website is a little heavy. But you can see what he looks like. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Stuff of Skylanders, of course. You know, you got to have your figures up there. That's the wrong one. It went to the wrong one. Never gone to Skylanders, but you do have quite a few amiibo yourself. Skylanders is the series that I have the absolute most respect for anything made outside of Japan. Hands down, Skylanders, I have all the respect in the world for Toys for Bob, for Vicarious Visions, for Beanox. Activision, not so much. But for the people that made Skylanders, they are so passionate, they're so creative, they're brilliant engineers for what they did. So I have all the respect in the world for them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the process, having a look at that. And it was a lot of fun hanging out. So thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. Check. I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post him in engine later on, so you can see what he looks like, and then I'll be sharing more of Galaxy Drifter as well. So yeah, I'll wrap up the stream now. Take care, everyone. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks so much for everything. Where's my guy? Hold on. We'll get him back on screen. Here we go. There's our guy. All right, there's the gentleman. I need to slenderize his sleeves. They're a little too puffy. So I'm just looking at the things that I need to slenderize a little. Ooh, I hope you enjoyed. That. Hey, thanks, guys. Take care. All right, we'll see you again next time. What's our catchphrase? Oh yeah, it's 2 a.m. Let's all go to Denny's and get food poisoning.